that we're going to be running with a little bit of a schedule for the next few days. We're going to be doing, all right, there we go. Okay. Sweet. All right. Aloha. Welcome. Thank you so much, everyone joining in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. This is Wolf, and you're tuned into live tarot readings with Wolf. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining the party. We got a pretty awesome thing that we do here to be able to help provide some awesome service for the community, to be able to do some tarot readings live on air. And as per usual, with the beginning of the broadcast, we just need to take an extra couple seconds to be able to get the information all set up on Facebook and to be able to invite people to help share it there. So if you're looking for a reading right off the bat, if you're tuned into this on Facebook right off the bat, go ahead and drop a 333 in the comments. And in addition, also share this broadcast. So that's kind of like standard routine where we want to be able to invite people to be able to tune into this broadcast. And one of the ways that we do that is by you being able to share it. So if you would like to be able to be eligible for a reading on air, then go ahead and share this broadcast. That way some more people can find out about it, more people can connect with it. And let me just see here, copy and paste here. And again, if you would like to be able to jump the line to be able to be the next person that we do a reading on air for, you can sign up for the Patreon. That only takes about 3 minutes to be able to sign up for. Aloha to everybody again on Instagram. Sweet. Welcome, Mutt in the Moon. Thank you so much. Awesome. Sweet. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. If you're here, again, like, please feel free to just like enjoy. And again, for those of you on Facebook, we just need to take an extra couple moments to be able to share this broadcast on a couple different pages. And once we have like at least like 10 people tuned in across multiple networks, then we will be good to go for our first reading. And we'll keep an eye on this. And again, this is like a bit experimental, but we're working with the intention of being able to do these broadcasts for the next few days at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching this broadcast on Instagram, please feel free to go to my story, swipe up, and you can tune in on YouTube. And because yeah, it looks like not too many people are tuned in on YouTube at the moment, but we are getting the crowd building on Facebook. So thank you everyone on Facebook. So again, please share this broadcast if you would like to be eligible for a reading on air. And what we do is I'll give you additional instructions, but essentially we invite people to be able to share the broadcast, drop a 333 in the comments if they are interested in getting a reading, and then stand by for instructions as I give you the next couple steps. And then we choose someone from the chat, and then we move forward from there with the first reading. And then afterwards, what we'll do is we'll do the next reading for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And again, for those of you who aren't entirely familiar, Patreon is a super awesome website where people can support community artists with monthly micro donations. So if you're interested in being able to get a next reading on air, then you can sign up for the Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes. And again, within this broadcast, we got a lot of awesome stuff happening here. We are providing some like really high quality value for the community while also being able to reach our goals with being able to raise funds for the Patreon. So again, so if you're just here on the Facebook page and on Instagram and on YouTube, all you have to do to be able to be eligible for the first reading that we do on air is to be able to drop a 333 in the comments and make sure you're actually like on the actual like Facebook video. That way so I can see your comments. And then share this broadcast with a few friends so that we can get more people to tune in. And once we've got at least like 10 people tuned in on the Facebook, then we will do our first reading. So I'm working alongside everybody here just to be able to share this in a couple different groups on Facebook. And again, even if you're on YouTube, please feel free to share the broadcast as well. And let me just make sure that things are working well on Facebook and on YouTube. Okay, it looks like it's decent enough. I'm not sure if the quality looks a little botched. How's the quality? The quality looks good on Facebook. That's all right. All right, so aloha to Jalen, aloha to Sheila, aloha to Peasy, and Brandy. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. So if you have like spiritual groups that you're a part of on Facebook, please feel free to share this in a couple different pages and groups that you're part of. And once we've got about 10 people on the Facebook, then we will begin the broadcast. And we've got about like 6 right now. So if anybody hasn't shared this broadcast, please feel free to do that. And we'll be doing this broadcast for probably about 90 minutes, give or take. So my plan is to get at least like 3 readings on air. And again, the first reading we'll do for Anybody within the chat will stand by for the next instructions on that. And again, you're typing 333 just to let me know that you're like interested in being able to get a reading. So stand by. We're almost at the threshold to be able to do the first reading. And yeah, again, like when we do this, when we do these broadcasts, this is a really awesome way for us to be able to just provide some additional insight and inspiration for people in the community, but also like the collective community as well. Like that's kind of the cool thing, is that when we do this, as much as it might be for like one individual person within the reading, within the group, within the broadcast, it is also like a way for us to be able to do it for the collective community. So if you're tuned into this broadcast, then absolutely you are welcome to be able to hang out here and get some additional insight from what it is that we're doing here. So let me just see here. The way of conscious. So again, I'm just taking a few moments here to be able to share this broadcast into a couple different groups. And once we are ready there, we'll begin the first reading. So again, for those of you tuning in on Instagram, please feel free to go to my Instagram story and swipe up there. And give me 2 more seconds here. Just going to share this to like 1 or 2 more groups, and then we will be good to go. Let's see. Awesome. Thank you again, everyone, so much for tuning in. Wishing you a super awesome moon day. Happy equinox as well. It is the equinox today, so we'll see what comes through the cards in this reading relative to the equinox. But it is also May. Is it, how do you pronounce it? May Bob? No, there's like, it's like the actual like pagan holiday on the equinox. I know what it is. Mabon. A-B-O-N is what it is. So yeah, and that's again like the celebration of this very, very important time of the year when we really focus on like harvesting. When we focus it on harvesting, like both like metaphorically and literally as well. So all right, so I'm just sharing this just into like probably just 1 more group, and then we're gonna get right into our first reading. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Here are the instructions if you missed them the first time. If you would like to be able to get a reading on air, basically all you have to do is be able to drop a 333 in the comment. Let me know that you're interested in a reading, that way so we can see how many people are there. And then to be able to share this broadcast, either just on your Facebook page, your Facebook groups, on your personal wall, wherever. And again, even on YouTube, please feel free to be able to share this wherever. So again, if you're tuned in on Instagram, first of all, thank you for tuning in. And second of all, if you go to my Instagram story and swipe up, you can tune in on YouTube. So go to my YouTube at Skull Babylon, and then you can help like keep the live chat lit on YouTube. Sweet, we got people on YouTube. Sweet, awesome. I didn't check the YouTube. I hadn't checked the comments on YouTube in the last couple minutes, so it's great to see that we got people on YouTube tuning in. Aloha to me, myself, and I. Thank you so much for joining in. Aloha to Trek. Aloha to Erica. Good morning, Erica, one of our fellow Patreon supporters. Aloha to Mon Amour. Aloha to Adriana. And anybody else who happens to be tuning into this, even those of you tuning into this in the future. So for those of you tuning into this, first of all, we're doing a schedule for the next few days. So for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're doing these broadcasts at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So even if you're watching this here, tune in later and help us get more people tuned in, because these broadcasts, like we do these as also to be able to provide a tool and like a gift for you to be able to share this with friends, you know, to be able to be like, yo, this is really fun. This is an exciting experience for us to be able to come together as community, and you can like share it and just be like, yo, this guy's like, he's like so wolfy and just, I don't know. You tell me why you tuned in, right? But again, I tune in to be able to provide value, to be able to just like help hold space. I hope I just to be able to like invite us to smile and invite us to just be happy the fact that we are here, we are experiencing, we are growing together. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. So what we're going to do real quick, we're going to get right into this first reading. Again, we got time for about 3 readings on air. If it is your first time here, thank you so much. Please feel free to check out the info and pay attention to the info on screen. That's there for your resources as well. So final instructions, then we're getting right into our first reading. And again, please feel free to just like keep this on in the background while you're like cooking or something like that. That's totally cool. All right, so final instructions. drop a 333 in the comments if you're interested in reading. If you've already done that already, don't worry about it. Share this broadcast with your friends, and then I'm going to give you these next instructions, and then this is going to determine who we do the reading for across the multiple chats. And then basically from there, we'll do this first reading for just like whoever gets chosen. But again, if it's chosen for one person in particular, it's also the idea that it is the reading for the team. So we hold space as a collective. So we allow like the collective consciousness to come through in this broadcast. And then for the next reading on air, it will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. So part of the objective in this is to provide awesome value for the community, as well as to be able to garner support for my own self on Patreon, which allows me to continue to do more work for the community and provide more value through broadcasts like these and lots of other things. If you haven't met me before, like I said, my name is Brendan. I'm a conscious media creator. I've been creating media for about 10 years, and I've created full-length movies, done over 600 broadcasts, done lots of inspirational videos like free hugs and flow tree and poetry, and you can find all that at Skull Babylon on my YouTube channel. But also you can go ahead and check out my Patreon link right away while watching this broadcast if you haven't already yet. So again, Patreon is a website where people can support artists with monthly micro donations. So what we're doing in this broadcast, we're providing value for you while also being able to help invite people to support on the Patreon so that we can keep providing value for the entire community. So if you've been tuned into me before and you're just like, yo, I really like the cut of this guy's jib, what's a jib? Then go ahead and sign up for the Patreon either now or in the future. And the next person who signs up for the Patreon will be the person who we do the next reading for. So as we're doing this reading, we're going to pull it for the crowd. And then the next one will be for someone from the Patreon. And the objective during this broadcast is to get at least 2 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. And when you sign up for the Patreon, you also get the opportunity to be able to get a beautiful Light Guardian crystal for a pay what you wish. So how much do these cost? As much as you wish to pay after you've signed up for the Patreon. And you can sign up for the Patreon for $3, $5, $11, $1,000, whatever works for you. And when you sign up on the $11 level, you also get the option to get a Lumerian Light Guardian crystal. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Thanks again, everyone, so much for joining in. Let's get right into this first broadcast, this first reading for the broadcast. So, awesome. All right, so if it's your first time here, pay attention. These are the instructions. If you haven't shared the broadcast already, please do that. Even if you're on YouTube, please do that. And if you've dropped the 333 in the chat, that's perfect. And here are your instructions. So, what you're going to do, I'm going to tell you a number. I'm going to say a number to the chat. And then the 5th person who enters this number into the chat across the multiple chats, so we got Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, across the multiple chats, the 5th person who enters this that I see will be the person who we do the first reading for. So that means that when I say this to you, don't enter it in right away. Don't even pay attention to how many people are like typing it into your individual chat. Listen to your intuition and then type it in. So the number that you're going to type in, and again, don't hit enter right away because there's going to be a bit of a delay here. You want to be the 5th person to be able to enter this. The number that you're going to enter, if you want this first reading for you, is 777. So type 777 into the chat, and the 5th person who types that into the chat will be the person who we do the first reading for. So again, thank you so much everyone for joining in. We'll keep an eye on the chat. Sushi, thank you so much for joining in. It's good to see you here again. A lot of familiar faces that we got here. All right, so keeping an eye open for the chat. And again, like we do this to keep it fair as best as we can, knowing that there's a bit of a delay. So as the delay comes in, we're going to be keeping an eye open in the chat, and I'll let you know who the first person that we're doing the reading is. And again, thank you so much everyone for joining in. For those of you on Facebook, please feel free to share this broadcast if you haven't yet, and stand by as we get right into this first reading. And I love doing these readings. You know, this is for me, this is for you, this is for us. All right, so okay, cool. All right, so the first person who we are going to be doing the reading for today is Mutt in the Moon, and that's on my Instagram feed. So again, that's where that came in based on like there's like, because I'm looking at multiple feeds here. And awesome, and thank you again everybody for awesome for tuning in, even on Twitch as well. Make sure I keep an eye on that. So thank you again everyone for joining in. We're gonna get right into this first reading for Mutt. So Mutt, congratulations, this is gonna be the first reading for you. So again, for the next reading that we do on air, that will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. So stick around if it's your first time here. Enjoy. But if you would like to be able to jump the line, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And again, that's with a monthly micro donation. And donations don't process until October 1st. And yeah, if you have any questions about that, let me know. But again, that's a super awesome way to support. And also when you do that, you also get like the shift buttons. You can get like the discounts for like the items at the store, such as more Light Guardian crystals and all sorts of cool stuff. But nonetheless, let's focus in on this reading. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. A reminder, we're creating this new schedule, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. So go ahead, make sure you're subscribed, tune in, and join us again later tonight as we hang out here and party as a community. All right, so Mutt, if you're ready for this, what we're going to do is, for everybody here, this is a shared intention. So I want all of us to like imagine ourselves in like a circle, in a ceremony. So let's just kind of like close our eyes. And I invite everyone here to just bring ourselves into our heart space. So let's just take a few breaths here, and even just kind of like in resonance with the equinox. Deep inhale, nice big exhale. Just holding space, just for 2 more breaths here. Deep, gentle inhale. So allow yourself to bring gratitude into your heart. Inspiration into this moment. 1 more deep inhale. Big exhale. Beautiful. So holding this space, allowing ourselves to be in our hearts. Mutt, for you and for everybody here, I want you to be able to hold the intention of show me what I need to see. And when you are ready, Mutt, you're going to type now into the chat. And once you type now, that is when I pull the card. So this is like the best synchronistic way that we can do this. So for everybody here, hold that intention of show me what I need to see. And we'll wait for Mutts to type in now. And take your time, Mutt. Take your time. Like, take a few more breaths. So on behalf of the universe and the gods above, may us bring down this cosmic wisdom with love as we bring forth the message of this synchronicity. And now is the time to pull the card, and we shall see what we see. Now, says Mutt. Ooh, that was like a half one there. Interesting. All right, sweet. Cool. Okay, so the first card that we have for the day, as we charge it up here with the Light Guardian crystal. Awesome. Thanks again so much, everyone, for joining in. Again, we'll do this first reading here for our friend on Instagram. For their name is Mutt in the Moon. And that's cute. It's like Wolf in the Moon, kind of. And again, for the person who would like the next reading on air, let's get a couple Patreon signups during this broadcast. If you haven't signed up for the Patreon yet, it only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And then the next reading that we will do will be for the next person who signs up on the Patreon. And thank you again, everyone, for your support in all forms. So the first card that we have for today is Swords 7. That is the first card that we have for today. So stand by, because I'm going to read from the book. And we're going to open it up together. And then we're going to dive in a little bit further. And again, and then that's basically like, I kind of get into like this like intuitive flow where I like draw even more insight from the card to be able to, to be able to talk to Mutt, but also to be able to talk to anybody. Again, if you're tuned into this broadcast, and this is for you, and the intention of this broadcast is to provide awesome value for the community, to be able to bring more insight, more clarity, and more inspiration to be able to help assist us on our journeys of shifting consciousness. And again, for those of you who haven't met me yet, be sure to check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com. We've got a global project. We are building a team of shifters, of light guardians, people who are actively helping assist with the shift in consciousness. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in. Please enjoy this reading. And if you haven't yet, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. And we'll keep an eye open for that next Patreon supporter. For those of you on Facebook, you can see down below. Sign up there. Check that out. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And when you sign up, you get awesome perks. But I'll talk a little bit more about that later. 7 of Swords. All right, Mutt, if you're here, let us know. Drop some... if everybody here is ready to receive this wisdom, drop some 1111s in the chat. Just let us know that you're here. You guys are here to party and to have fun and to hold space as community. So thank you again. All right, so listen to this with an open heart. This card's for Mutt, but this card is for all of us. Understand that. This card is for all of us. If you are here, this reading is for you. All right. 7 of Swords. The image. 7 swords are hiding on different levels of a boxed-in heaven, which hovers dramatically above a wide landscape. Meaning, in the Asian spirit world, earthly existence is described as Maya, the world of illusions. For the person who sees superficially, only the sensory world counts. Only when experiences are stretched beyond the 5 senses can the perception of reality behind the transience of material form be grasped. Ooh, I was getting some like spine tingles as I was reading this already. That's good. Truth tingles, truth bumps. On the other side of limitations, which set the conditions for earthly existence, the individual consciousness can be experienced as a part of the universal consciousness. Consciousness as an experience of spiritual reality becomes the sense of awareness, a bridge between spirit and matter. The impulses of the creative spirit manifest as the resonance fields of a higher reality, which are expressed in levels of increasing density. I'll reread that because that's like some like secrets of the universe right there. The impulses of the creative spirit manifest as the resonance fields of a higher reality, which are expressed in levels of increasing density. The experiences of higher levels of energy bring insight into fundamental processes, upon which material appearances rest. Then the recognition of creative abilities is finally reached, with which the individual creates his own reality. If man becomes aware of his own divine spark, he also finds it in others. Astrological significance: Mercury, Neptune, septile aspects. Keywords: realizing the important, imagination, intuition, increasing perception, awakening, achieving wisdom through self-knowledge, transformation, traditional meaning, illusion, misleading, confusion, material relativity, cunning, exposing the truth. Very cool, very cool. Awesome. So this is a super exciting card to be able to talk about, and like definitely like, man, like this it's funny, man, like if I'm thinking the seven of swords, like this card is all about self-realization, self-actualization as like a higher dimensional being. But if any of you actually remember, if some of you have seen the video that I posted about like bad spiritual stand-up comedy, where it's like a person, like it's me standing on stage and I'm doing like bad spiritual stand-up. In that video, I actually I say the 7 of swords. I'm like, oh, I had a dream last night and I pulled the 7 of swords. And the 7 of swords is all about self-realization and actualization on a higher dimensional level. So it's just funny that we just like happen to pull this card as the first card. So 7 of swords, Mutt, for you, for everybody listening to this card, again, when we do these tarot readings, this isn't, when I do these tarot readings, there's different ways people do them. I don't do these so much of like, hey, this is your fortune. This is a fortune telling. I don't know why I have to talk like this, but I'll just do it the entire time. Yeah. Anyways, but the 7 of swords, when we do these tarot readings, this is a way for us to be able to have a mirror in front of ourselves, for us to be able to receive some sort of message from the universe that's going to be of value to us, to be like, yes, that is what I needed to hear right now. Yes. And so, awesome. So Mutt's already saying they were born on the 7th. 7 is a lucky number. So absolutely, 7 is a very powerful number. And we often think about 7 as being associated. Whoa. And there's 7 people tuned in on the Facebook chat right now, which is weird because I just looked at that. And there's almost 7 people tuned in on Instagram. We got 7s across the board right now. So getting right into this. This card, the reason why I see us being able to receive this card is a huge call to action. And definitely a part of our story that is happening here. In order for us to be able to like really find inspiration in terms of like what is happening in this world right now, it's important for us to be able to see the bigger story. And even in themes with like the global crisis happening right now, with like, you know, like what we're happening with the global climate strike and you know, like like all that global warming and everything like that, there's multiple levels to the story. But one of the ways in which we can see the story is that the story in itself, as much as it is about us trying to like create like global solutions, it's also about us being able to like remember our connection to divine like spiritual identity. And that is like the deepest element of this story that I see is like going to be like the one that's going to create like the most prevalent outcome in the long term. And so this card is really acknowledging and honoring the fact that all of us tuned into this broadcast are going through this process where we're really starting to see like beyond the illusions of the Maya. And so when you think about this reality, like this reality is very dreamlike in the sense that you kind of like walk through it and you don't always question it. You will just kind of like be going about your day-to-day life, and you'll just kind of be like flowing and just kind of like making decisions in the same way. If you were in a dream, you'd be kind of be going through a dream in the same way. When you're in a dream, how often do you actually realize you're in a dream or question the fact that you're in a dream? This reality, this waking state serves in a similar way. If something can happen in the dream space, see that as like a way to be able to study this reality as well. And so basically what I'm saying is that in this reality, we're walking through it. Many of us are walking through it like a dream state. And there is a period in which we start to awaken. We start to see beyond the illusion. We start to see beyond the Maya. We start to see like the code of the matrix is one of the ways that I like to think about it. And this card, as it says, like right at the bottom, if one becomes aware of their own divine spark, they also find it in others. So this card is really acknowledging the importance of that process within our journey of like seeking divine spark, of being able to like find the things within our day-to-day lives that help remind us of our spark and our connection to all things, that help inspire us, that help remind us, and this is such a key part in this, to be like a bridge between higher conscious ideas and mainstream culture. And this is something that I talk about so many times within like the Paradigm Shift Central project, is that this card is really reminding us of what we are here to do. We are here to awaken on a personal level. We are here to practice seeing divinity in the world around us. And then we are to practice being of service by being able to be the bridge between higher conscious ideas and this physical world, to practice being a conduit, to practice being an antenna, to practice being a radar dish, for practice being a stream for creative flow, for creative channel. So again, only when experiences are stretched beyond the five senses can the perception of reality behind the transience of material form be grasped. So even in this, you know, for you, like think about that. Like how have you been practicing developing your awareness beyond the five senses? And even like one of the senses that I think a lot of people probably don't even acknowledge as a sense is like our emotional senses, is our emotional ability to be able to like listen, to be able to listen to our heart, to be able to listen to the wisdom of like what our heart is saying in connection to the world around us. Because our heart whispers to us, and it's just be like, you see that tree over there? Yeah, go sit under it, because like that's actually you, and that's going to teach you some very powerful things. So just before I continue into this a little bit deeper, I just want to be able to reply real quick to any comments in the live chat. Again, as we're doing this reading, we'll be keeping an eye open for the next person to be able to sign up for the Patreon, and then they will be the next person who gets the reading for on air. So Maurice, do not contribute to the super chat through YouTube, but rather contribute to the Patreon, which is a monthly micro donation specifically, but you can sign up for $3, $5, $11, and you also get more perks there. So go ahead and check that out. And even if you want to sign up for a private reading afterwards, that's totally cool too. So as we're doing this reading, we're just going to keep delving into it, but we're going to be keeping an eye on the next Patreon supporter. And then when that next person who signs up for the Patreon, we're going to like give them like some super high fives, and we're going to celebrate that. So again, during this broadcast, I've got about like 90 minutes left, give or take, less than that. And we're going to be working on getting at least 2 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. But again, this card, like the experiences of higher levels of energy bring insight into fundamental process upon which material appearances rest. Then the recognition of creative abilities is finally reached, with which the individual creates his own reality. If man becomes aware of his own divine spark, he also finds it in others. So I think this card, as I've said before, like this card is very, very important for being able to acknowledge like our role as dreamers within the dreams, to become better dreamers within the dream. And this is something that we need to be able to do more and more and more as we continue to become aware of what this reality is. We realize how dreamlike it is, but then we also realize our place within it and our potential to create. So like that's kind of the thing that I feel is like a big paradigm shift, is when we're just like, oh my goodness, I'm starting to see beyond the veil, beyond the Maya. I'm starting to see that like all is mind, and I'm starting to remember this divine truth that this reality is like a unique reflection of my intentions, of my energy, of my perception, and how I am being able to like help co-create it in this moment. And this card, in the same way, it's like, oh, once you've kind of awakened, once you've kind of taken the red pill, there's also this idea that it brings in a heck of a lot of responsibility, but also a lot of excitement. So Mutt, I really want you to acknowledge this, and for everybody here, to acknowledge this within yourself, to acknowledge the degree of excitement you feel through this process of like awakening more and more and more. And when you awaken, it's like literally like, it's almost like every day becomes Christmas. You just kind of feel like you're like unwrapping this box. You're like unwrapping this present that's before you. And you're just like, oh my goodness, this reality has been around me like this entire time. I'm so connected with it, but now I'm even more connected with it. Now I'm understanding it at a deeper level, and I'm actually awakening to more of my abilities. I'm awakening to more of my senses, and that's what this like card says. And so again, like I'll just say this real quick. And again, thank you so much. I'm seeing everybody's comments in the chat. Sushi, the real God, thanks so much for tuning in. Again, like with this card, I really see this as a card to be able to encourage us to be able to practice developing our senses beyond the 5 senses. And one of those senses is the sense of intuition, is the sense of being able to receive information from beyond the present moment and being able to bring it back into our experience now to be able to help create more grace and more flow to be able to move through this reality in service to others. So like, that's kind of the thing, is that I've talked about this before, but like, the chakras that we have, my best way of being able to understand them or explain them, and again, this is just my understanding, is that the chakras are actually these like energetic points throughout our body that actually are there with a purpose to be able to receive information from beyond the present moment. So we are in an ocean of energy all the time, and this energy is like non-linear. There's like information from the future that's like all around us as well, and these chakras are like meant to be able to receive it in the same way we see with our eyes, we hear with our ears. The chakras receive energy from beyond the present moment, and we can process it as information. And then from there, we can allow ourselves to be able to be like, like I'm listening to my intuition, and I know that, you know, like what is the wisest choice for me to make in this moment? Be like, okay, I'm going to go this way. Okay, I'm going to follow this person. I'm going to go to this party. I'm going to go to this event. I'm going to walk around this corner. I'm going to not go to this. And, you know, I'm going to do what inspires me. So again, for the 7 of Swords, it really becomes an invitation. And Mud, I saw a comment there. I have to go back and read that real quick. I saw a comment there about like, again, I think this is like such a very, very powerful way to be able to allow us to like practice becoming better conduits for source energy, for our art, for our community, for our service, for our friends, for our family, for our loved ones. And again, I really invite, this is just kind of like, this is related to the card, but it's also an idea in itself. For everybody here, I really invite and encourage you to adapt this process of being able to like think about reflecting on the question of what is the wisest choice I can make in any single moment. What is the wisest choice I can make? And when we get good at asking that question, but not only asking it, but listening, then that becomes like a way for us to be able to like move through this reality in this super divine guided way. So like, that's kind of the thing, is that like when we're just like kind of like going through reality, just like purely just like on a whim, that has a flow to it, but it's likely that there's going to be certain points where we might have to backstep. We might have to kind of like go a certain way and be like, oh, like, you know, like shouldn't have gone that way. Let's take a couple steps back and then let's go this way. When you get really good at listening to your heart and listening to that question of, again, what is the wisest choice I can make? And not just thinking with your head, but listening with your heart. Listen to the heart. The heart will help guide you in that process. Then it allows you to kind of like keep flowing in a way where you don't actually have to backstep as much. Not to say it would never happen, but maybe just not as much. You know, like the decisions become clearer. The inspiration is there, and you're just like constantly moving. So again, keywords in this. And we did get a new Patreon sign up, and I'm going to give a huge shout out to that in a second. Thank you so much, Sheila. Realizing the important, imagination, intuition, increasing perception, awakening, achieving wisdom through self-knowledge, transformation. So again, when we change the way we see the world around us changes. When we change the way that the world around us sees us, we ourselves change. So like this card is understanding that like it is the paradigm shift that is going to bring us into more of who we are. Now, at the same time, it's also acknowledging that not everyone as a soul is actually here to experience this degree of paradigm shift, because with it, like I said, also comes a degree of responsibility. It comes a degree of like more like kind of like deeper reflection. So it's like kind of like the red pill, blue pill type thing. You know, do you want to go like, do you want to like, you know, just like see how far the rabbit hole goes? But also with that, it's also more responsibility, but it is also a degree of like excitement and more adventure and new levels and bonus levels that you're tapping into. And again, understanding like how to be able to be like wizards of the imagination to bring those ideas into this realm. So for Mutt, I really see this as a very powerful card for you to be able to like develop deeper relationship with your imagination. And to see those imaginations, to see the nation of the magi, the imagination, like the nation of the wizard, for being able to like practice, to really be able to practice like conjuring ideas within our mind, listening to ideas within our mind, and then like listening to the universe of just being like, you need to create this. You're here to create this. You need to say this. You need to put up this social media post. You need to do this for a friend. And you really become like this like ambassador for consciousness, which is what we're doing, which is what it means to be a light guardian and shifter as well. You know, it means to be like an ambassador. It means to be an ambassador of spirit, of soul, in service. So again, this is such a powerful card. It's being able to kind of like, again, see through the illusions, see more of the truth that is hidden in plain sight, and being able to just like awaken ourselves. So like more of who we are, more of our responsibility, more of the excitement of listening to our intuition, and just expanding and increasing our awakening and our perception. So, Mutt, I just want to read your comment there. It said, very important to start embracing our powers to help create the world in a good way. Got to bring the light in, and it's something I'm really working on. Love it. Awesome, Mutt. Thank you so much for your comment. And Mutt, go ahead. Please feel free to leave any other comments. Anybody else who feels that they resonate with this card, go ahead and leave some comments down in the chat and let us know how this card resonates with you. Do you feel this? Do you feel yourself kind of like seeing, again, the Seven of Swords? I'll just break it down very simply. Swords often relates to mind. It often relates to perception. It's how we see the world and our relationship with it. Seven oftentimes kind of relates to this idea of heaven. You know, like, why do we say that, right? Like seven heaven and stuff like that. So this is about being able to have the mind to see the heaven here on earth right now. And that's the idea. It's knowing in your heart that it's not separate. It's like literally not separate. Yeah, there are like other dimensional realms of this reality with different densities. There's the astral planes and things like that. But absolutely, here right now, like this is about being able to create heaven on earth by being aware of that it's right here. And this is such a powerful idea. And I'll just say this and we'll wrap up the card and we'll move into our next reading because we do have a new Patreon supporter. Is that this card, I really be able to see this as an invitation for each of us, for everyone here. If everyone here can just kind of like really listen to this, I want to be able to invite all of us to practice creating heaven on earth, and not in some big utopian way. That's great. That's a great thing to have, but in a very tangible way of being able to create heaven on earth through individual moments, through moments of gratitude, through moments of love, through moments of connection, through moments of inspiration, through moments of sharing our art, through moments of doing free hugs. Those moments are creating heaven on earth because it's helping people just be like, oh, this is the gift. This is the gift. What is the gift? The present, right here, right now, right? So again, as we awaken through the Sevens of Swords, we really are able to step into our power to see more of the world around us, to be like Neo from the Matrix, to see the code, to see our connection, to see the synchronicities, to see our potential, to see our responsibility, to be conduits of knowledge, and to be able to help serve in that mission of being able to help create heaven on earth in whatever way that means to you. Again, like open your mind up to what that may mean. So for everyone here, if you're listening to this broadcast, if you're listening to this reading, you are here to help create heaven on earth. You are, because we all are. And allow yourself to feel invited to just be like, yes. This is what I'm here to do. This is my purpose. This is our purpose, to create heaven on earth. And we do that through self-actualization, through the inner work. And then by bringing that inner awareness out into the world around us, and by sharing it with others, and by holding space to be able to help assist others on their awakening. Because this is the last thing, is that, again, when we see the divine in ourselves, we see the divine in others. And this is the beauty of it. It's understanding that with the right conversation, anybody can be led to seeing the spark within their own heart. Anybody, it's all there. Like, isn't that a beautiful thing? Is that with the right conversation, anybody can be able to like have like that paradigm shift, that aha moment, and just be like, whoa. Like, I'm starting to see myself as more than just like this physical body and this physical story. Like, I'm actually remembering who I am as an eternal being here in this human experience. So for everyone here, you have that ability to be able to help hold space, to be able to help others see that cosmic divinity within themselves, that divine spark within themselves. As we become aware of our own divine spark, we also find it in others and help others find it in themselves. So there we go. Awesome card, Mutt. Great way to be able to start our day, especially for the equinox. Yo, Cosmic Surfer, thank you so much. Awesome. Yes, we are all mirrors for each other's growth. Love Magnetic, Elucid, thank you so much. Shayla, thank you so much for joining in. Sacred Gaemon, Geomon, thank you so much. And Mutt, go ahead, Mutt, just leave some few more comments. Like, you have the stage here. I want you to be able to just share how this card resonates with you and any other message that you just kind of want to share from the community, and then I'll read that on air. And so with that said, thank you again, everyone. Drop some 1111s in the comments if that resonates with you. I'm going to take the next few moments just reading some of the comments on screen. So again, during any of these broadcasts, if these comments resonate with you, like what I'm saying resonates with you, leave your comments and I can read it on screen. So Erica is saying, I'm here to create music. So awesome, Erica. Thank you so much for like following your passion and being able to help use music as like a very powerful way to be able to help like bring in more of that magic into this world. Again, that's what we're doing. We're like wizards here to bring magic into this reality. Was there a comment there? Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Mutt, thank you so much as well. Awesome. Cosmic Surfer says, people like them. We can become the greatest teacher if we can reflect that which we are looking for. Awesome. Very well said, Cosmic Surfer. Thank you so much, brother. And so again, thank you so much everyone for being a part of this broadcast. I just want to read a couple more comments here. Sheila says, Sheila, who is our newest Patreon supporter. Thank you so much, Sheila. I'm going to update the screen on that in a second. Sheila says, I've had a lot of conversations in the past where I've been told, wow, that's a life-changing statement. I love it. Sheila, so there we go, right? Like, how many people have had that? And if you haven't, this isn't a problem. But just know that a lot of us have had those moments where we've like held space for someone else. We've said something, we've spoken our truth, and someone has been like, whoa, that changes the way I see things. Like that idea, that power of the thought can actually change their story. It changes the way we see things. So again, like even in the global climate thing, it's like, yeah, like there's this bigger story where it's like about our awakening of consciousness. And as we know thyself, like more things begin to reveal themselves, more clarity opens up. Scarlett, thank you so much. I know you had a few comments a little bit higher up. I'm just going to read a couple of them. From the angle, he really does look like him. Who do I look like? Sean Dawson. Apparently I look like Sean Dawson. Apparently I look like a lot of people. That's been a thing growing up in the years. Apparently I've looked like, geez, I don't even remember their names. There's like a bunch of like tween heartthrobs or teen heartthrobs back in the day who apparently I used to look like or something like that. So hey, that's all right. I don't care. I'll use that as like more of a platform to be able to help just get more people paying attention. So people will tune in and be like, oh my god, he looks like Sean Dawson. I don't know. I don't even know who that is. And then they'll be like, oh wait, now he's like speaking truth and spitting fire. When I studied mythology, we studied archetypes that provided a context similar to what you are portraying. Scarlett, thank you. Awesome. The principles are the same principles that the Egyptians lived off. And awesome, Scarlett, having her cup of coffee. Sweet. Scarlett, again, we do have plenty of podcasts. For those of you who haven't yet, please feel free to subscribe to our newsletter at paradigmshiftcentral.com. I'll post that into the link below. So again, if you're enjoying this broadcast and you're just like, hey, I really appreciate the value here, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter and just explore more at paradigmshiftcentral.com. Again, there's like over like 600 podcasts already online. All right. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. We're going to do our next reading for Sheila. Sheila, thank you so much for signing up on the Patreon. I really appreciate your support. This is not Sheila's first time tuning in. I know Sheila's been connected with me for a little while here. So thank you so much, Sheila. That means a lot to be able to have your support on the Patreon. So again, for anybody here, if you would like to be able to be the next person to be able to have your reading done on air, and again, you can sign up for the Patreon on screen. And once you do that, we'll do a reading for you on air. But hey, if you want to do a reading separately, that's totally cool too. We can do one privately as well. So I'm just typing out Sheila onto the screen here as our newest Patreon supporter. So thank you so much, Sheila. You can see that down in the bottom corner there. Again, for those of you on Instagram, go ahead to my Instagram story and swipe up on my Instagram story so you can join in on YouTube. That way so you can actually like see what the screen looks like. You'll be able to see like the screen looks like completely different. Whereas but honestly, you can still just like hang out here on Instagram too. It's totally cool. Elucid says, life is like a dream when we become aware that we can start to create our own versions of heaven. Totally. All right. Mutt left a larger comment. I'm going to read that. Sometimes I realize that my thoughts have created the world around me and I have to be careful to keep them positive, but it's also allowed to see the power I have. And now I use my focus to change. Very cool, Mutt. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone here, for just rocking it. And send me a DM if you want me to like take a screenshot of that, and I can send you like the write-up. That way, so you can like read it in like a week from now, and it will like still mean a lot to you. So thank you again, everyone, so much for being here. We've got 1 Patreon sign up so far for this broadcast. Again, our objective during this broadcast is to get at least 2 Patreon signups. So the next person who wants to sign up will be the next person who gets a reading after we do Sheila's. But hey, again, like, the purpose of this broadcast is to provide awesome value for the community. So thank you everyone for being able to receive this value, for sharing this broadcast, for being able to hold space for each other as a community. Because again, as much as this is a very powerful way and a very unique way to do readings, where as much as we're doing it for the individual, we're doing it for the community, and it's a super exciting way to be able to do it like that. So again, we're at 114 Patreon supporters, working towards our next objective of 150. That's like a big milestone for me. Once we're at like the 150, that's going to open up like a lot more possibilities for me. Again, even for myself, just to give you more context, a big thing that I want to be able to do is to be able to like do more traveling. I want to be able to like travel the States. I want to be able to travel Europe. I want to be able to come to where you are and to like do events where you are, to do free hugs, to document things. So again, understand that when you're supporting on the Patreon, like you're supporting like way more than just like the individual reading that's happening here. You're like helping us help a lot of people. And again, when you sign up on the Patreon, you can also get 25% discount for your items at the Quest item shop. And those are, I'll just show you the shift buttons real quick. So again, let's get 1 more Patreon sign up during this broadcast. So for anybody here who wants to sign up for the Patreon, it only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And for those of you on Instagram, you can go to my bio and you can swipe up or you can click on there to go to my Patreon. And you can also like leave the broadcast and go into it that way. So again, I just want to reply. Sakishi, thank you so much for joining in. Again, with the questions here, we don't necessarily like answer specific questions from the chat, but by being here, I hope that there's a message that comes through the reading that serves you and kind of like being able to like show you what you need to see. So thank you everyone for joining in, and we'll keep an eye open for that next Patreon supporter. So let me just show you real quick. These are some of the shift buttons, and Sheila, again, when you sign up, let me know if you want to get a Light Guardian Crystal for a pay what you wish price, and then you'll get some extra shift buttons. And again, the shift buttons, these are awesome tools to be able to use, to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. You wear these, you share these. So you can see here, one that says like literally like ask me about sacred geometry. So if you saw someone wearing this button, and it said ask me about sacred geometry, what would you do? You would probably walk up to them and be like, yo, like let's have a conversation, like let's talk about consciousness. And then there's another one here, ask me about Sasquatch. Oh man, please ask me about Sasquatch. And you can see here we got some like wolf ones, some like spirit wolf ones, we got some Metatron cube ones. And again, each button is a hologram because each button has a Paradigm Shift Central website on the rim. So it's on the rim. So you wear these, you give these to people. You can do them while doing free hugs, and you can plant seeds, and you can be able to invite people to be able to connect with the project, tune into the broadcasts like these, and check out all the conscious media that we have online. Again, I've been creating conscious media for about 10 years. We have full-length movies. If you haven't already yet, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/SkullBabylon, even if you're watching this on Instagram or on Facebook. And go ahead and just check out a lot more stuff there. And also connect to my Instagram. You can see that on screen as well. And I am super dedicated and devoted to being able to provide a lot of awesome content for everybody here. Awesome. Sheila, thank you so much for being here, for checking out the website and the project. And again, let's get right into this next reading for Sheila. So again, as we're doing this reading, hey Carol, thanks so much for tuning in. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. So as we do this next reading for Carol, we'll be keeping an eye on the next Patreon supporter to be able to sign up. And again, once we get 2 Patreon supporters, that's awesome. I have until 12 today, so it's 1 more hour from now to be able to like stay on air. And after that, I'm actually going to be going and editing the video that I've made for the global climate strike rally, which is going to be a super dope video. So I have to like leave my house and go to the library to work on that, because that's like where I like to do my work. So again, let's pay attention and do this next reading here. Thank you so much. I just wanted to read, Sacred Geomon says, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Time for me to carry on graphic and web designing. Just logged onto the website and checking it out now. It's been a pleasure and all. Awesome. And a quick note for anybody here, who here, like, yes, you can support on the Patreon and like get like awesome things like the Light Guardian crystals and stuff like that. But there is another option in the Patreon. If you're a conscious media creator, know that we have a private community within the Paradigm Shift Central project where you can work alongside me and other creators in like more depth. And that is part of our leading membership. And that is when you sign up at the $11 a month level. and then that gives you like more perks within the community, such as being able to join on our future broadcast, our Synergy Circle broadcast, which we do on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're tuned into this, be sure to tune in on Thursday for our next broadcast, and again, be sure to subscribe on YouTube to be able to tune in for that as well. So but yeah, Sacred, go ahead and send me a DM afterwards if you have any questions. Absolutely. So I'm just kind of reorganizing my cards here. Half of them got like face up, half of them are face down. Oh, and I do want to mention one thing. I actually have a new tarot deck. I actually bought a new tarot deck for you guys, and this is a very cool tarot deck. This is the Lightworker tarot deck. So if we get one more person signed up for the Patreon during this broadcast, then we'll pull a special card from this deck. And I've never done that yet. I have not pulled a card from this deck yet. So if we want to get like a special reading from that, then we'll check that out. Awesome, sweet. Okay, so we got Scarlett signed up for the Patreon. So we do have another Patreon supporter. Thank you so much, Scarlett. We'll do your reading as soon as we do Sheila's, and we'll move through this as effectively as possible. And honestly, if we can get more Patreon signups, then that's super cool. So we'll see. We'll kind of decide as a community whether we want to do like a reading from the Lightworker deck, or if we want to do a reading just like from the regular deck. Because this deck, I love this deck. Like this is the Ananda tarot deck. And the term Ananda, that was actually like one of Buddha's students is who Ananda was. So Ananda was like kind of one of those people. What did I just get? Did I just get? Hold on, I just saw like some sort of weird notification on my Facebook. I just want to be able to double check it. Just making sure I didn't get like banned from groups again. Did I get banned from groups again? We'll see. Yep. No, I did. Aw. What did I get banned from? Did I get banned from posting in groups? Oh man. See, this keeps happening. Okay, so for everybody here, wow, I only shared it to like 3 groups. I am temporarily restricted from joining and posting to groups that I do not manage until September 30th. So for everybody here on Facebook, let that be a call to action. If you see me live in the future, know that I'll be needing your help to be able to like reach more people through the Facebook chat. But hey, that's all right. We're still managing. All right, if you're tuned in live right now, go ahead and drop an 1111 in the chat. Let me know that you're tuned in. Wow, how did I totally just like botch the deck again? I thought I fixed it. Now apparently half the cards are half up and half down. That's all right. It's the equinox. Things are balancing themselves out. I posted a video on Instagram about the equinox lessons. That video is actually from 100 years ago, but it's still relative. So, all right, let's get right into this. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. Again, we're going to do this reading for Sheila. Sheila, thank you so much for your patience. And we'll do another reading for Scarlett, and then we'll do another reading if there's anybody else signed up for the Patreon. And yeah, so if anybody else wants to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead, and we'll do that after we do Scarlett's reading. And we'll try not to get banned from Facebook in the meantime. Awesome. All right, so again, for anybody joining in real quick, we're about to do a reading for our friend Sheila, who is our newest supporter on Patreon. As you can see on the info here on the screen, if you would like an on-air reading or private reading, support on Patreon. That's with a monthly micro donation. And if you sign up at the higher level of $11, you can also get a Lumerian Light Guardian Crystal. So Erica's actually getting a Lumerian Light Guardian Crystal because she's actually one of our leading members as well. So thank you, Erica. And so again, you can see these are all handmade, super awesome tools to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. And yeah, these in themselves are like worth a lot. These can like sell between like $60 and $100 because like these are just getting more and more rare. And these are super powerful tools to be able to like serve as ceremony, to anchor in, for them to use as like fidget spinners, for you to be able to use them on the dance floor, whatever works for you. But again, this is one of the Lumerian ones. If you sign up at the $11 level, you can get one of those. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Mutt says, very interesting. I'm an artist considering myself an illustrator. I'm going to check out your Patreon. I can't do it today, but soon, definitely. I'm definitely going to check out the store. Awesome. Thank you, Mutt. And again, the store itself is at questitemshop.com if anybody wants to check that out. All right, let's get right into this next reading. I appreciate everybody's patience. I know I'm like talking about a few things at once here. All right. Sheila, if you're with us in the chat, let us know. And we will get right into this next reading. And I invite everybody here to just begin dropping yourself into that heart space. So for everybody here, I'm just going to restart the Instagram feed real quick. So for everybody here, start dropping yourself into that heart space. Instagram, tune back in. I'm just going to restart this. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So checking in. Sheila, let us know that you're here. Awesome. Scarlet, you can join at a higher tier later on. The donations don't process until October 1st, so you can totally like sign up when you're ready. You can adjust your pledge. So like you sign up for the $5 level, nothing goes through until like the October 1st. So even for like Sheila, whatever works for you is totally cool with everyone here. Okay, I'm just posting to. We are live again on Instagram. All right, Sheila is here. Sheila is ready. Everybody else is ready. Again, if you're tuning into this, Mutt, do me a favor. If you're tuning into this, tune in on YouTube, if you don't mind. That way, so you can just like see more of the screen, and you can get the experience there. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Sheila's like, I want to switch to the $11. Sheila's like, ooh, like I want that Lumerian. And you also get like higher discount for that as well. Actually, do you get that? It's a 30. Well, at the $33 level is when you also get like a monthly shifter booster kit, which is like super awesome. All right, let's get right into this. Again, quick shout out to everybody joining in. Sheila, thank you so much. Scarlett, thank you so much, our recent Patreon supporters. Jalen, thank you so much for joining in. Good to see everybody here. And if honestly, even if you guys are just here, please go ahead and just share this broadcast. I'm not asking you to share this broadcast because it's an exchange. Like, I'm just asking you so that you can like help share this with other people so that they can tune into the inspiration. Because I'm banned from Facebook groups now because I'm a bad boy. Like, I don't know. So, but let that be a call to action for us to be able to work as a team. So, all right. Awesome. I thank everyone again for joining in. And for just having fun. We're having fun and we're getting inspired. Cool. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, so Sheila, if you want to sign up for the $11, you can do that afterwards. Again, like there's no rush on that. You're signed up now. Same with you, Scarlett. Whatever works for you guys. And with I'll just clarify, with the intention of like signing up. Again, it's with the intention of the agreement that like you'll continue contributing to the best of your ability, and then that allows you to like get the perks and like that huge discount on the items as well. But at the same time, understanding that life is life, and I'm totally flexible. Like again, like your support in any form is always greatly appreciated. All right, yo, Anime, thank you so much for tuning in on Twitch. If you're still here, I haven't been looking at the Twitch comments as much lately, just because it's not always as active, and sometimes it's just full of spam. But yeah, oh, Christina, thank you so much for joining in. I'm glad you're able to join us, Christina, aka Mutt in the Moon. For anybody here, quick thing, because I want everybody here to be able to use this as a platform to connect with other people. For anybody here on YouTube and on Facebook, if you want to post your social media links into the chat, please feel free to do so. I give you permission to invite you to be able to like follow each other. So if you post your comments, your links into the chat, then that's like inviting people to be able to like connect to your profile. So if you want to share your Instagram, your YouTubes, please feel free to do that. I want more people to be able to connect with your work. All right, so let's keep doing this. Again, we're going to do 2 readings here, and we'll keep an eye open. If there is another reading, we'll do 1 more reading, and I'll push back my schedule just by a little bit. And yeah, and then we'll get right into this reading in the meantime. But yeah, 12:30 would be the latest. And if we do, we'll see from Scarlet. If we want to do like a reading from like this deck, we can, which is fun because I haven't done that yet. All right, okay. Sheila is ready. Yeah, Twitch is a streaming platform. It's a completely different platform. So, but I stream on multiple platforms, so synchronously we can reach more people. Like people just happen to tune in on Twitch, and then again, someone left a comment on Twitch like, this is chill. So that's why we do it, right? Even if one person tunes in, that's awesome. And that's at twitch.tv/paradigm essential. Yeah, it's like for video games, but it's also for anything. There's other people who do tarot readings on Twitch. All right, so thanks again, everyone. Let's get right into this. I feel like I've been talking for like the past half hour. People are just like, get to the readings. Let's go. All right. Christina, thank you again for joining in. All right, Sheila's right. All right, so for everybody here, let's drop into our heart space. Share this broadcast if you haven't yet to be able to help share this inspiration. We'll keep an eye open for another Patreon sign up as we're doing this broadcast. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone, again for your support. I love you guys. I love you, children of the earth. Cheers. Dropping into our heart space. Dropping into our heart space for everybody here. Aloha, Joy. Thank you so much for joining in. All right, so Sheila. Allow yourself to align with that intention of show me what I need to see. Take a couple breaths here. Just clear your mind. Bring yourself to that heart space. And when you're ready, type now into the chat. And for everybody here, hold space alongside as a team, as a community. And once Sheila types in now, we'll pull the card. The magic is here within this moment of laughter and bliss as we allow ourselves to be the bridge so that we can continue to rise up above into these skies with love so that we can bring forth the wisdom of our heart through the power of our art. So that we can show others what we have seen, so we can show others what it means to be in union with this earth, to be in union with all that can be seen. And so as we wait for Sheila to type now into the chat, we allow ourselves to remember that this is where it's at, the community and the love, to bring down the truth from above, here on this equinox. Oh, my friends, can you feel the love? Sheila, type now into the chat when you're ready. And we will pull this next card for you. And thank you again, everyone, for holding space. I feel everyone's energy. As much as this is for Sheila, this is a community. So show us what we need to see. Everyone here, just say that out loud. Show us what we need to see. There it is. So awesome. Pulled that card there. We'll charge it up with the Light Guardian Crystal. And beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's see. Which one should I charge it up with? I'm gonna charge it up with this beautiful red one. Look at this. Look at this Lumerian. This Lumerian is lit. Like seriously, like this one is like so huge. Like that is a huge Lumerian. That's huge. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, go ahead, swipe up on my story, tune in on YouTube. All right, charging this up here. The card that we have pulled for Sheila, that we have pulled for the team, is the card of reverse. Is the card of reverse. So this is a very, very, very exciting card. So allow me to open up into the book here as I pull open the write-up for the card. And this is card number 12. And there it is. All right, so again, for everybody here, thank you so much for joining in. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to feel the support of community as we continue to kick butt and shift the paradigms. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining in. A reminder that we'll do this reading. If you would like to be able to get a reading on air, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. It only takes a few minutes, but don't rush into it. Take a extra moment just to be able to check out what I do there. I also create super awesome woke humor videos. Some of you have seen those. I got like way more of those planned. I make a lot of different videos. And yeah, Sheila's like, I like your sound effects. Thanks, Sheila. I make them just for you. All right. So the reverse card, what do we got here? Looking at the card, the actual image of the card. Awesome. Thank you, Descend Light and at Lightened Edits. Descend Lightened Edits. Thank you so much for tuning in. They said I'm interplanetary. Intergalactic planetary. Beastie Boys. Man, I grew up on Beastie Boys. All right. Reverse, we'll focus here, otherwise we're just going to be on this broadcast for like 5 more hours. Hey, if you guys just keep supporting on the Patreon, I'll just stay on here and just make sound effects all day. Does that sound like a good deal? All right, as long as you're smiling, that's all I care about. The reverse card, what do we got here? We have this beautiful figure of what appears to be a woman floating down from the sky, and she's kind of like very transparent, very etheric, and she's got like this sphere right below her hand. And maybe the sphere is moving up, maybe it's moving down, and the sphere has like the reflection of the landscape within it. And then you can see the landscape below and this beautiful river just kind of like flowing down. And yeah, and you can see there's just a couple stars, but the stars are actually more inside her. They're not actually in the sky, they're more inside her. So that's very interesting. So again, we're going to read through this. Quick note, for anybody on Facebook, if you're tuned into this for the first time, just go ahead and drop a 777 into the chat. And also be sure to send me a friend request, but also a direct message. I don't accept friend requests unless there's a direct message with it, because I get too many friend requests and I need to know that someone's tuned into this or added me because they tuned into this broadcast. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, Emma. Emma says, Emma, which video? Emma says you think you're in one of the videos. Emma, which video is that? Like this is, oh my goodness. Okay, Emma, as in Emma from the March who I met. Yes, no, Emma. Okay, it totally just clicked. I'm just like, yeah, Emma keep an eye open. And shout out to huge shout out to Emma in the YouTube channel. Emma is actually going to be one of the people who is going to be in the March video for the global climate strike. That, again, I'm editing after I finish this broadcast. So Emma, you did a great job at the march. Huge shout out to you. Emma is one of our youth who was at the march for the global climate strike, and she did some interviews on camera, and she did an amazing job. So Emma, thank you so much for standing up for the climate, and I hope you get some additional awesome inspiration from being here. So thank you, Emma. It's great to see you here. All right, let's get right into this. So this is the reverse card. Again, we're going to read through this card. I'll give you some more insights on this. Just open your heart, open your mind to just be able to receive this information coming forward. And in the meantime, if anybody else wants to sign up for the Patreon, please go ahead and do that, and we'll keep an eye open. If we can get at least one more Patreon sign up during this broadcast, huge bonus points. And again, we can keep doing a couple more readings after this. We have Scarlet, and then one more reading if anybody else signs up for the Patreon. But let's focus in on this card right now. So number 12, reverse. All right. The image. As if from another world, an androgynous creature playing with a crystal ball comes forth from a deep blue sky. Yeah, so it's an androgynous being. That's because I said, I'm like, it looks like a female, but yeah, it's more androgynous. Very cool. Androgyny is pretty cool. Meaning, after having previously reached the highest point of increasing soul substance in the image of strength, the individual has now come to the point of return. Be it through an increase of materialistic tendencies in the life of man, or through a life crisis, man is again and again regularly confronted with the results of their actions. This causes him to question his life up until now and to bring forth change. Ooh, okay, I got some like spine tingles there, because like, again, this is just like, I just got the global climate strike on my mind. I'm like, this sounds like us right now. This sounds like Earth right now. This causes them to question their life up to now and to bring forth change. The evaluation of past life experiences requires turning inward and going back to one's roots. As a result of this way of life, the individual, conscious of the momentary situation, stands on the threshold between past and future. As a result of deep insight, the release of past ways of thinking followed by change in his way of life enables man to give his life new meaning. Through the ability to see life from another point of view, he is able to win deeper sight into the connections of a universal world order. By recognizing his true roots in cosmic reality, he becomes aware of his identity as a spiritual being and is able to unconditionally trust in divine leadership. I'll reread that. By recognizing his true roots in cosmic reality, he becomes aware of his identity as a spiritual being and is able to unconditionally trust in divine leadership. With the goal of changing the conditions of his life, which no longer stand up to advanced observation, he must recognize the outer change can only happen by changing on the inside first. For this, a contemplative mindset and an examination of one's worldview and beliefs are necessary. Astrological significance: Uranus at midheaven, Pisces. Keywords: new ways of looking at things, letting go of established ways of thinking, divine leadership, learning processes, alternative new lifestyles, examination of one's worldview, insight into higher connections, interchange, deeper recognition, mindfulness, traditional meaning, change, broadening of consciousness, insight, spiritual awakening, change of lifestyle, renewal of worldviews, faith, inner stillness, waiting, other perspectives, clarity of thought, change of mind. Wow. All right. So this is a very, very cool card to get, especially the way how this card relates to the previous card we got. Like the Seven of Swords, again, was pretty much like a lead up into this card, which is something that happens usually when we do these broadcasts. Like seriously, when you tune into these broadcasts, like if you want to see like synchronicity happening live on air, like this is happening. This is happening. And the previous card was very much similar to this. It was similar to this, but this card goes into like another layer. It goes into like a little bit more substance. And so this card is really about being able to like intentionally observe where we have come up to this point, and to really become like to stand in a critical place of love of our own worldviews, to be able to like ask ourselves like what is working, what is not working. And this is such a powerful idea. This is such a powerful idea. I want everyone here to kind of think about this and to invite themselves to like feel this, but just be able to like ask the question of like, what does my ideal life look like? What does my ideal day look like? What does my ideal week look like? And so just start asking yourself this again, like Sheila, for everybody here, start asking yourself this, because this question is going to start help leading you towards more clarity from like the element of this card of reverse, to be able to see like what it is that you want to be able to bring with you into the future, and maybe what you don't want to bring with you into the future, what habits you want to change. But again, if you were to just like ask yourself that question of like, what does my ideal day look like? Like, what does that look like? And just be like, okay, sweet. Like, I wake up early. I don't look at my phone right away. I journal. I meditate. I get some sunshine. I get some fresh air. And then maybe I like do some like a little bit of like exercising. And then I do some work. I get really productive. Then I go stand up. I exercise some more, get some more fresh air. And then later on, I spend some like social interaction with people, create some more meaningful social engagement. And then I like get a good sleep, rest, decompress, and then do it again in that way. And I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling rejuvenated. When you ask yourself this question of like, what does your ideal life look like? Those questions are going to help provide you additional clarity on how to be able to reflect on where it is that you are right now, to be able to decide on what you need to change. Because we all have the wisdom of being able to understand what it is that we need to change. But part of being able to get that wisdom is by understanding and getting clear on what our targets are, by getting clear on where it is that we are going. And so where do we want to go? So again, like even with Emma dropping in here over the chat, because again, I've been talking about the global climate strike in a couple different contexts here, and Emma just kind of like reminded me of it. Like this card, when we see this card from a global perspective, from a bigger shift in consciousness, we look at this card and we're just like, okay, hold up, reverse. Something's wrong here. Something is not happening. We are smart enough to know that if we continue these patterns, this will be our outcome. And that's the thing. We as humans, we don't actually have to like live the result of like screwing up to the point where it's irreversible in order to be able to get the lesson. We are intelligent on the global scale and the like the immediate scale of our own individual lives, to be able to be like, like if how will these habits affect my overall productivity and my overall vitality and my overall life if I continue them in this manner? Will they serve me? Will it be like something that's going to be detrimental? Will it prevent me from being able to achieve my goals sooner rather than later? So be it through an increase of materialistic tendencies in the life of man or through a life crisis, man is again regularly confronted with the results of his action. This causes him to question his life up till now and to bring forth change. So for everybody here, this is literally something that we should be almost be doing on like a regular basis, like almost every day through our journaling practices in some sense, but to literally be able to like question our life up until now. And that doesn't mean like totally everything, but even just like, how was your day? Like, how was your day? And where can you be able to like say like, oh, that was great, but like maybe there's like something there where I can refine it. Maybe there's something there that I can remove. Maybe there's like something there that actually it was just like, it prevented me from being able to like get something done. So for example, say it's like you like set the intention of like, okay, I'm going to work on things this afternoon and this is my target, and I'm going to like try and get done, like say for example, for me, I'm going to edit this video. Or maybe for you, I'm going to write this email. I'm going to write this letter. I'm going to create this social media post. And you create this target for yourself, and then you show up to do it, and then you're like halfway through it, and then suddenly you just get distracted by Reddit, and then you just spend the next half hour on Reddit, and then by the end of the day, you're just like, oh, like, why didn't I get that thing done? Like, why? Ask yourself, bring your life into question. Why did I not get that thing done? From a place of like humble responsibility, you should be able to pinpoint the reason as to why you did not get it done. And in that case, it's being able to take more responsibility and be like, oh, I know why. It was because I spent my time on Reddit, or I spent my time on my phone, and I spent my time being distracted, and I lost my focus, and that was what prevented me from getting it done. Therefore, the answer is within that problem. The answer is okay, if I want to make sure that I get my stuff done, I have to remove XYZ. I have to change habits ABC. I have to be able to make sure that, like, maybe if I'm working on something, I like take my phone and put it somewhere else. I have to practice focusing my discipline to make sure that I'm like keeping my focus where I need to. So again, for Sheila, for you here, Sheila's already saying, like, I needed to hear this, like in all caps. So Sheila, I appreciate this. I really invite you to just be able to reflect on, like, where are you going? Where do you want to go? What are your targets? And how is, like, looking back at your past actually going to be able to help give you the answers to be able to figure out what is going to take you there? Because, like, that's the thing. We have this divine intelligence. We have this ability where when we are relaxed, our body will naturally guide us towards our targets. But we have to have those targets. So this is kind of what I was saying, like within like the global shift in climate, like absolutely the idea of understanding that it is a crisis and our house is on fire, there is a relevance to that is relative. But at the same time, even in the midst of crisis, we need to still be able to create a sense of peace for us to be able to just be in this place of like trust and wholeness and relax and open ourselves up to the wisdom of our own heart, open ourselves up to the wisdom of our own spirit, of our soul, of our connection, and then be able to allow that guidance to be able to move us forward. So like, because when you think about it, say your objective is like, okay, I need to accomplish this project. I need to accomplish this task. If you're trying to accomplish that task from a state of fear, think about that. How will that affect you? How will that likely affect the outcome? If you're trying to accomplish something from an emotional vibration of fear, not to say you won't still like make some positive steps, but you won't see the full picture. Your fear will actually limit your perspective. And so we need to be able to like look at our past, even in the midst of crisis, and to be able to like have that mindfulness, to be able to practice like creating that inner peace so that we can see our past. Again, like a place from humble responsibility. Definitely. Sheila's saying she resonates with that. And be able to decide on like where it is that we want to be able to make those important changes, and not even so much like where we want to make those conscious changes or those certain changes, but also like where the universe wants us to make those changes. So like that's the thing. If you're being like totally honest with yourself and you're just like, okay, like what do I need to change? What do I need to change? If you ask yourself this, your intelligence, your divine intelligence will be like, okay, stop falling asleep watching Netflix at night. Okay? Stop looking at your phone first thing in the morning. Okay? Stop like eating fast food. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. You can do that too. Start exercising a little bit more. Start going out in nature. Go pick up some garbage in your local forest. Go hug a tree. Spend time with other people who are going to resonate with this. You know? So like, this card is so much about being able to trust. This card is again about new ways of looking at things, letting go of established ways of thinking, divine leadership, the divine leadership of listening to our own heart. Really allow ourselves to feel that. Can you feel the divine leadership of your heart? Can you trust the divine leadership of your internal wisdom? That's a very powerful thing, and it's a practice. Like this is the thing, the next phrase in this, learning process. It is a learning process. It is a learning process to practice listening to the wisdom of our own heart and then to practice following it. But again, in order to be able to bring forth that wisdom, one of the things that we need to be able to do is to be able to get more clear on our targets. And you don't have to get 100% clear, but you can start getting clear. Like the clarity on that will begin to reveal itself over time. And so like, again, that's kind of with the global climate strike, just to be able to put this as a microcosm, as a macrocosm, because this is what we are going through right now. I feel, this is just an idea, I feel that when we practice knowing ourselves, and what I mean by that is like knowing our connection to the universe, to nature, to each other as divine beings, as more than just this physical body, as seeing beyond the illusions of Maya. When we practice knowing that, when we practice knowing ourselves, and again, this applies to you, Sheila, this applies to our regular place. When we practice knowing ourselves and being in that place of cultivating peace, new solutions and new answers will reveal themselves to us. The wisdom will come to us. The clarity will come to us. The right path will open itself up. Whereas if we're totally just like in fear mode and just kind of like, oh, I got to get this done, or even in ego mode where it's like, oh, I got to get this done in order to be able to just like make money and just like, you know, like get popular and stuff like that, certain paths will not reveal themselves. You won't have the perception to be able to see them. So again, insight into higher connections, interchange, deeper recognition, mindfulness. So absolutely, this card is about mindfulness. This card is about being able to cultivate mindfulness, being able to see the past and the future from the present. You are a time-traveling, hyperdimensional being by nature. You have the ability to look into your past from the present, to be able to analyze it like a dream, to be able to reflect on it, to be able to ask questions about it, and be able to see into the future and ask other questions, and to be able to like bring forth more clarity and to figure out what your next steps are going to be. And when you get into that place of like deep reflection and deep channel and deep trust, it becomes this flow where you're just like, okay, like I can feel that this is me, like kind of like moving in that right direction. And you'll start to get confirmations through like the synchronicities. Like when you practice, start listening to your heart a little bit more, the universe will be like, yes, I see you, like my child, I see you. I see you making these efforts. I see you. Here's a little synchronicity. Here's some 1111s. Here's some 333s. Here's some 96, whatever it is. And I'm affirming that you're on the right path. In any moment, the most important thing that we can do is to like practice, like bringing ourselves to the awareness of our heart. When we're acting out of fear, like that can kind of like, and again, not to say it doesn't, and not say that fear doesn't have a purpose. Again, fear is a great catalyst for being able to observe that something needs our attention. Something needs us to look. We need to look at something. We need to pay attention to something. We need to take something seriously. So that's why with the global climate strike and the global climate crisis and stuff like that, the fear is there to be able to say like, ding, 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 pay attention, ding, 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 pay attention, ding, 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 ding. And if you're feeling that within your own life, you don't need to wait for that ding, ding. You don't need to wait for that fear to kick in. We should be like looking at our life on a regular basis. We should be able to reflecting. We should be able to literally like ask ourselves these questions. And these are questions I've asked myself, and I encourage this everybody here, even write this down. Ask yourself these questions. Where have I been? What have I done? Who am I now? And then the fourth question would be, where am I going? Where have I been? What have I done? Who am I now? Where am I going? When you get into the habit of asking these questions on a regular basis, that can drastically change the way you move through life, because that way it basically means that you don't need to wait for that crisis in order to be able to suddenly realize, oh, I have to make a shift. I have to make a change. Like if you think about it from this global climate crisis and everything like that, if we were asking ourselves these questions like every year, every month, we were just like, you know, be like, oh, okay, how are things doing? How are things doing? Okay, cool. Let's make some changes here. Let's adjust here. So it's adjusting as you go. Instead, as we've done with the climate crisis, we've just kind of like let things go. And then suddenly it's gotten to the point where it's been like, oh, we've been ignoring things and now we got a big problem. So I'm sure we've all felt that place where it's like, if you ignore things, the problem only escalates. Like it just like it piles up, but eventually like it doesn't go away. It just means you have to deal with it later. And so if there's little things in our life before they become big problems, let's just deal with them now. Let's just take a moment to reverse, and this reverse means to literally reflect. If that makes more sense to you, think of reverse as reflection, mindfulness, to reflect, to look, and just be able to be like, okay, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be responsible. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's look at our habits and be like, what is serving me and what is actually like getting in the way of me being able to achieve more of my dreams and me being able to show up as my better self. And again, what does my like golden path look like? And to ask yourself that and to give yourself that and be like, okay, I want to be able to like be like helping other people. I want to feel healthy. I want to spend more time in nature. I want to be around friends and family. I want to be able to like create meaningful connections. I want to feel inspired. I want to be able to like be with people who are on this shared journey. You can have that. You can all have that. Maybe some of you have that. Maybe some of you are still working on that. But again, by you asking these questions and getting clear on that's what you want and doing the work to reflect on your past and removing the things that are preventing you from getting there, then eventually it comes to you. You open yourself up to it. So again, it's like there's this process where it's like your future is already there. All you have to do is open yourself up to receive it. And when you realize that, you also understand that when we're not opening ourselves up to receive it, we are unconsciously closing ourselves off from receiving it. And we are closing ourselves off from receiving it by being in the process of like developing habits that aren't fully serving us. But again, the habits in themselves are not, they are themselves teachers. Like that is the thing, right? This is a reverse card for those of you just joining in. So again, the habits in themselves are teachers. The habits in themselves would be like, oh, what's that? Like your willpower is lacking here. Sweet. That's going to be a way for us to be able to practice developing your temperament, your temperance, your willpower, your ability to be able to like be more mindful and more like more like conscious in your ability to be able to say like, yes, this is good for me. No, this is bad for me. And not bad, but like more so, this is going to prevent me from being able to manifest what I want sooner rather than later. Right? So like, you really have to marry yourself to your higher purpose. And I put up a post about this. I'd be like, are you married? Yes. To my purpose. So what is your purpose? And when you really show up in that way, and your purpose above all else, bring it back nice and simple, is to know thyself. It's to know thyself. And are you going to know yourself by like being lazy and by like watching Netflix late at night and falling asleep and like getting in bad habits and by hanging around people who aren't on the same path? In a sense, yes, because that crisis can also serve as a catalyst, but you don't have to stay in that. You don't need to stay in that crisis mode. You don't need to stay in that unserving place. That serving place will serve as like a chapter to be able to be like, okay, that's what that felt like, and now I'm ready for what else is out there. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay in the same. Otherwise, I'm just going to like plateau, right? And you see that with people. They plateau. They kind of like, they hang out with a certain group and then they become that group and they plateau. Whereas like we want to be able to, again, just like continue to surround ourselves with people who are constantly working towards more self-mastery, and then we rise together. So again, Sheila, let me know how this card resonates with you so far. And I know I'm going to read your comment here. And again, for everybody here, drop some 1111s if this resonates with you. And I'm going to read a few more comments. Scarlett, I can see your comments as well. And Bonnie, great to see you here as well. So happy to be able to have everybody here. Again, this card, new way of looking at things, letting go of established ways of thinking, divine leadership, learning process, alternative new lifestyles, examination of one's worldview, insight into higher connections, interchange, deeper recognition, mindfulness. So we've kind of already said it, but just a quick recap. This card is an invitation. This isn't like a fortune, but this is like a call to action to be able to say like, hey, you need to put your focus here if you're listening to this, because we all do. This is an important like thing to be like, oh, as human, we need to be responsible to be able to like look at our past, analyze it, observe it, make choices, decide what's working for us, decide what's like preventing us from reaching our targets, and then to be able to like make those new choices in love, to let go of things in love. So even again, like specifically that idea, changing our lifestyle habits, changing things, that means being able to give ourselves permission to let go of things in love. And this is a powerful idea that I'm sure everybody here will resonate in some way, some more than others. But there are going to be certain points in your life where there are going to be certain people who aren't fully like serving you. They're like, if you stay with them, it's going to prevent you from achieving that next level of your dream, which you are here to manifest, which is like your duty as a cosmic being. And you will learn the experience of what it's like to be able to let go of that connection with that person in love. Not to say you totally forget them, but but you could even like, whether you communicate to them or even in your mind or just with your words, but you would say to them, just be like, hey, like, you know, if you were speaking to their soul, you'd just be like, hey, like, thank you for the time that we shared together. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about my own self-worth and my needs. And now I am letting go of this connection in love to be able to serve my highest self. Not because I don't love you, but because I love myself so much that I know that this is the right thing for me to do. And as humans, we need to honor that. We need to honor that with each other. We need to honor if a friend were to come up to you and they were to just be like, hey, like, you know, like, I'm sorry, but I have to take some time and space for whatever reason. Our reaction should just be like, I honor that. I honor that. Like, maybe I'll miss you, but I honor you doing what you need to do for yourself. And so you, Sheila, you need to ask yourself, what do you need to do that's best for yourself? And this card is all about that. And again, as we do this, it allows us to fully actualize a little bit more and continue to just like level up in new ways so that we can continue to serve others, broadening our consciousness. So such a powerful card. I'm going to read some of the comments here. Anybody else, please feel free to leave some comments. Let me know if this resonates with you. Sushi, seeing your comments there. I love. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sushi. Paper Druid, thank you so much for joining in as well. Everybody here, thank you so much. Good morning. And yeah, this is a reverse card. So I'm just gonna read some of the comments here. So this is a card for Sheila, one of our newest Patreon supporters who signed up during this broadcast. She says, I wrote on a rock I got from the river. It says, focus on your higher purpose. And it is usually the first thing I see in the morning. Thank you for this reading. It reminds me of practices I have been neglecting. Beautiful, Sheila. And that's again, we probably all have practices we've been neglecting. But what happens when together we all start practicing building momentum? And I want people to keep that in mind, where like you're not doing this on your own, where it's just like, like there are other people who are doing this together. Even something like cold showers. For everybody here, you'll hear me talk about this once a broadcast. Cold showers is a great way to be able to just shift your mindset, to be able to like bring in more of that like hey, if I can do something uncomfortable for like 30 seconds in the morning, then I can do anything throughout the rest of the day. So seriously, if you're like having trouble kind of like developing your willpower and making those choices, practice taking cold showers and practice making that choice. Because as you practice making that choice, it will help you in practicing having the willpower to make other choices. So again, it's just kind of like, what gift do you want to give yourself? Do you want to give yourself that gift where like in a little bit of the future, say like tomorrow, where you're just like, wow, I feel so clear and clean that I made that choice? Or do you want to have that feeling where it's just like, damn it, I made that same choice again, damn it, and I feel like I'm not moving forward type thing. So give yourself the gift of feeling what it feels like to be able to make that different choice, the one that's going to be able to give you that sense of like more freedom and awakening, and just be like, whoa, like I'm so glad that I made. And it might be the harder choice. Like that's the thing. Like sometimes when it comes to changing habits, it can be a harder choice, but it's kind of one of those things where it might be hard, but it gets easier as you continue to do it. So again, that could be food. That could be like, any vices. That could be pornography. That could be anything. That could be hanging out with people. That could be like going to clubs. That could be like even just like our self-talk and things like that. And just like however we choose to oftentimes kind of like numb ourselves and disconnect, when we choose to just be able to be like present, make an alternative choice, and receive like the nutrition and the substance and the gift from being able to like make a choice that is like serving in a higher way by making a harder choice, like that is very powerful. That's very powerful. And eventually you fall in love with that feeling. So that is what I want you to be able to do. For anybody who's like having trouble with like, again, practices that they may have been neglecting and things like that. Say for example, yoga. Say it's just like our body, if you wake up in the morning, or meditation, our body, you wake up in the morning and you're just like, hey, I should meditate. I know I should meditate. But then your ego, your body's just like, oh, but that's hard. It's like, it takes time. It's challenging and it's uncomfortable in a sense, Yeah, you can feel that, but again, acknowledge that's the story, but then do it anyways. And then after that meditation, after that yoga, really take a moment to drop in with that feeling and start falling in love with that feeling. Start falling in love with that gift that you've given yourself. Start falling in love with that feeling of be like, oh, like I'm glad I did that anyways, even though it was the harder choice. And ego, I saw you trying to convince me not to do it. I saw you trying to trick me. I see you, and you're not the bad guy, ego. You're actually like there to teach me. You're actually there to serve me. You're actually there to challenge me. So next time you see that thought process, you observe it, and then you still make the choice that's going to serve you. Out of love, out of falling in love with like that deeper feeling of being able to be like, yes, this is what it feels like to be like more in alignment. So again, short-term satisfaction from like vices and material connections, food, anything like that, all of those things, that's a short-term satisfaction. Give yourself the gift of the long-term satisfaction. Cultivate that energy. Work towards your goals. What do you want? Do you want to like eat that bag of chips all by yourself in one night and do that again tomorrow and then maybe the next day? Again, I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm just saying we've all been there. Or it's more of a metaphor, right? Or being able to like accomplish your dreams in a month from now and being able to be in that point in your life where you're just like, whoa, this feels awesome. This feels great. This feels like momentum. And so this is the last thing I'll say on this card, because I feel like I've talked about this card for like a good half hour, which is great. This card is also a great reminder about the power of momentum. So it's not just about being able to make that one choice one day, but it's being able to make that one choice so that it becomes easier and easier and easier to make that continued choice as you continue to build momentum. And that momentum allows you to just like put more love back into every single thing that you're doing. So for everybody here, reflect, reverse, look at your life, figure out what patterns you want to be able to change, figure out new lifestyles, and create that new momentum as you move forward as like your golden self with your highest potential. So very cool. All right, I'm going to read some of the comments here. Sheila, any other, let us know how this resonates with you. Sheila says she lives in Alaska, so I think she's talking about the cold showers. So she's not a fan of doing the cold showers. Yeah, Sheila, that's interesting if you live in Alaska. But I mean, seriously, the cold showers, it's just like even ending your shower cold. 30 seconds cold. Again, do it as a mindset practice. Seriously though, it is right. The optimum growth is achieved in the uncomfortable zone. Absolutely. Absolutely. We know that. So awesome. Thank you so much. Changing lifestyle choices. Absolutely. Molly, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in for your first time. For everybody here joining in, jumping over to the YouTube comment. Northern Lurker asking on Twitch, real quick. I'll respond to that question. What theology do you subscribe to? For anybody here asking what theology I might subscribe to, my answer when people ask me like, what are you religious wise? My simple answer is I'm a seeker, or I'm a human. You know, I'm one of the hues of mana or something like that. Whatever Merlin used to believe in, that's what I believe in. So. Right, you see the things from many different stories and you piece it together to be able to like build your own image, your own perception of this bigger thing, because it's not just one theology. All right, a couple comments here I'm gonna read from Scarlett. I see some of your comments there, and Sheila says wonderfully resonated, so thank you, Sheila. Another successful reading there on behalf of the team, so thank you for Sheila and for everybody here who got something out of this. I know there's definitely something that for all of us we got something out of that. Scarlett says, it can be as simple as getting up and caring for your body and cleaning your house. You ever notice your shift in mood when you stay consistent with caring for yourself and your environment you live in? Absolutely, Scarlett, you know it. Yeah, Erica says, eventually we all need to transition to a plant-based lifestyle if we are to survive. I definitely think plant-based lifestyle is something that I agree. I agree everybody should like at least like give it a shot. Absolutely, to become more mindful of that in itself, and that's going to serve us, not just like the planet but ourselves. It's the same context with caring for the mind and acknowledging your endless circles, says Scarlett. I really feel like this card resonates with me as well. A lot of what has been addressed are things that I could apply to my own life. Everyone has something. Awesome, Scarlett, you're getting like bonus readings out of this one, and then we got your next reading for you too, so stick around. Harder than it is said, but it's almost like you're obligated to do so in your life at least once. Letting go is a huge part of moving forward in life, whether it hurts or not. Absolutely, yeah. As soul, we came here to like practice learning how to love through letting go. Like, you cannot come into this life without experiencing heartbreak. Like, no soul had a contract that says that, where it's like, I'm just gonna like live my entire life and never experience heartbreak. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Because heartbreak is, again, the heartbreaking open. Scarlett takes cold shower. I'm invisible and nothing can stop me. Screams to the heavens as I contract hypothermia. Again, try the cold showers, but again, do it in a way that like feels good for you and push your boundaries. Again, it's very much about the mental thing. Sushi saying, do you report back to the motherboard, Spidey? To the mothership? Absolutely. Okay. Awesome. Christina, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we'll be back again at 10 p.m. later tonight. If anybody here is watching this, tune in again. Make sure you're subscribed on my YouTube channel. All right. Sheila says, thank you, Brendan. Looking forward to tuning in on more live broadcasts. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sheila. And thank you again, Sheila, for signing up for the Patreon. And let me know, Sheila, if you have any questions. And Sheila, send me a direct message and I can send you the picture for this card. That way so you can read more about this on your own. And if anybody else wants the picture for this, let me know. Just send me a direct message and I can do that. Because then you can read this and then you can read it on your own. And then you can get like more insight from it from there. All right, let's do one more reading. I want to be able to see if we can get one more Patreon signed up for this broadcast. And I'd like to be able to do a reading with this deck. Scarlett, let me know. Scarlett, let me know. Do you want to do a reading with this deck, or should we do a reading with the new Lightworkers deck? I kind of want to, like, again, I'm open to doing one with the Lightworkers deck, and you can let me decide, Scarlett, who again is one of our newest Patreon supporters, if they want to do a reading with that. So again, for everybody here who's tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we provide awesome value through these broadcasts by being able to do these readings for the community. So Scarlett, this is the Ananda Tarot deck. So this is the one that we usually use, which is really good. The other deck, it's an Oracle deck. So it's not a tarot deck, it's an Oracle deck. So it's a little bit different. Honestly, I feel like this deck is like super, super powerful. That deck, maybe, I haven't fully read with it yet. So like, but I got it for us. I got it for us to play with. There will definitely be something in there. But I definitely know that this deck is like something I'm familiar with. So yeah, okay, so Scarlett wants to do the Lightworker deck, so that's cool with me because I haven't practiced with that one yet. So we'll do that. We'll do the Lightworker deck. And again, this is because Scarlett was one of our Patreon supporters, so she gets to choose. And again, for anybody here who's tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed. Go to check out more at ParadigmShiftCentral.com. Subscribe for our newsletter if you haven't done that yet. I'll post a link for that in the YouTube chat. If you haven't subscribed for a newsletter, go ahead and you can sign up there, and that will be able to get you more information about upcoming broadcasts. If I can, is it gonna let me do this? Sweet. Okay, there's a link for the newsletter there. All right, so if we can get one more Patreon sign up during this broadcast, I'm okay with doing one more reading. Otherwise, I'm going to be out the door, and I'm going to be heading over to work on my video editing for today. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Sheila, thank you so much. Sheila says, I'll DM you. Thanks. I got to get going to work. Thank you all. Awesome, Sheila. I'm glad we were able to do that reading before you had to go to work too. So thank you again, everyone, for being here and for helping out the community. And I super appreciate it. And again, we'll be doing another broadcast at 10 p.m. tonight and also 10 a.m. tomorrow. And again, this is like, it's near the end of the month, so we're working on getting as many new Patreon supporters as we can. The Patreon donations process at the end of each month. So if you're interested in supporting on the Patreon, go ahead and sign up. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And again, when you sign up, you can also get a super beautiful Lumerian Light Guardian Crystal if you sign up at the $11 amount, or any of the other amounts will get you a regular Light Guardian Crystal. So just showing that off to you there. Super, super cool. Man, quick vote within the comments. Should I get a haircut soon? Is that, I think it's about that time, right? Like when I start getting the wings on the side, I think that's usually time for a haircut. So, and then I'll look nice and proper for people tuning in. So, all right, so we're gonna do this next reading in a second. Again, for everybody here, thank you. If you would like an on-air reading or a private reading, please feel free to let me know. And also, you get that by signing up for the Patreon. Let me just update the Patreon on screen here. So we're currently at 115 active Patreon supporters. So thank you again to Scarlett, and I'm just gonna update that information there. So Scarlett, I like how you spell your name, Scarlett. That's very cool. And thank you again to Sheila as well, who recently signed up. So awesome. You can see their names down on the bottom there. So very cool. So if you would like your name live on screen during the broadcast as we give awesome props and shoutouts, then go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. But there's a lot more to it than that. Yeah, I need to get a haircut. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna get trimmed probably. So anyways, okay, thank you again, everyone, so much for tuning in. If you're tuning into this on Facebook, if this is your first time, be sure to subscribe to my profile page. We're gonna be doing more broadcasts 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. for the next 3 days. And if you are tuned into this, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. At the beginning of the broadcast, we always pull a reading right from the chat, and then we do readings for anybody signing up for the Patreon after that. So if you're interested in getting a free reading, please feel free to be able to make sure you're subscribed and tuned in at the beginning of the upcoming broadcast. And for anybody here, let me know in the comments if somebody here is like interested in signing up for the Patreon while we're still doing this broadcast on air. And I'll keep an eye open for that as well. And again, when you sign up on the Patreon, you get the on-air reading or the private reading with me as well, and also the 25% discount for the item shop, the quest item shop, which is like the shift buttons, and you also get a light guardian crystal for as much as you choose to pay for. So how much do these cost? As much as you wish to pay once you sign up for the Patreon. And again, these are super awesome tools, toys, and talismans. So Sushi, do you like this light guardian crystal? Super cool. Awesome. So again, that's a super awesome deal. Those light guardian crystals are worth a lot, not just in money, but just like in like metaphysical value as well. They're as magical as you wish to make them, type thing. So, and yeah, and at the $11 level, you can also join our private community space, which is the leading members within the Paradigm Shift community. So, I'm just taking a look here. All right. Okay, so Scarlett, are you ready for your reading? Shall we move right into this? And awesome. I'm just gonna read any of the comments that are coming into the chat. Bonnie, I'm reading your comment right now. It says, "It's so funny. I forgot this stuff is new to some people since I have been following your content since 2011, 2010. It's all normal to me now. People are like, how do you know all this awesome stuff? I'm like, well, this show in conscious media paradigm shift." Come on, Bonnie, thanks so much for being here. And I'm glad, Bonnie, it's been awesome seeing both of us grow. You know, like Bonnie, I'm super inspired by your journey as well, and I've really valued like the times when we've gotten to chat and hang out. Absolutely. So yeah, Bonnie's like, but I felt all this stuff before you, and then you put it into words and helped me not feel alone. Absolutely, Bonnie. It's so happy to be able to hear that. And again, like that's a big thing with why we do these broadcasts and hold space for this community, because there's a lot of people that maybe they don't get a chance to talk about all this weird paradigm shifty stuff. And by me doing it, by me just doing it so like open-heartedly and so like, you know, confidently, it gives other people permission to be able to be like, huh, like maybe I can do this too. Maybe I can like talk about like metaphysics and Sasquatch and law of attraction and spiritual ideas as well, you know? And to be able to know that in doing so, it's going to help more people be able to have their own discussions with it as well. All right, if you haven't already yet, please feel free to like the button on YouTube. Thank you again, everyone. We've been streaming for over 90 minutes, and we've gotten 2 Patreon signups. If we can get another bonus Patreon signup before the end of the broadcast, I super appreciate it. Otherwise, this will be the last reading for today, and this is going to be a special reading that we are doing with our new Lightworker deck for Scarlet, our newest Patreon supporter. So go ahead and sign up for the Patreon if you're interested, and let me know. Let me know if anybody else is signing up for the Patreon as we do this. Sushi, if you want to tune in on YouTube, reminder, go to my story and swipe up there. I know you're just like, because there's more people in the YouTube. You're kind of like hanging out by yourself right now. So if you want to join in there, go for it. All right, wherever you're comfortable with. It's totally cool. All right, let me just take a quick sip here. All right. So, Scarlett, thank you again so much for your Patreon support. For everybody here, thank you so much for joining in. And give me 2 seconds. Actually, I just want to blow my nose real quick. And we're back. All right. See, I'm a human. I have to blow my nose sometimes too. All right. Okay, let's get right into this. So, Scarlet is ready. So, Scarlet, I invite you to just open your heart. Drop into that intention. Show me what I need to see. This is using the Lightworker Oracle deck. This is a new deck. This is the first time we're using this deck, and we're using this because Scarlet is our newest Patreon supporter. And yeah, we're going to be using this deck a little bit more in future ones as a little bonus. And so for everybody here, just drop yourself into that heart space. Show me what I need to see. Take a couple breaths here. Scarlet, allow yourself to breathe. Bring yourself into that space of gratitude within your own heart. Put your hands on your chest if you wish. Allow yourself to just be open to the divine synchronicity of this ceremony, this practice that we are sharing together. Bring in that intention of show me what I need to see. And with an open heart, when you're ready, type now into the chat. And so, as we look within the deck of this Lightworker Oracle cards, we allow ourselves to see, oh, how far we have come, and we continue to rise within this shared dream, to step into the story of our destiny, to be able to be here on this path, to serve each other in ways that will last, to remind ourselves of what it means to be a light guardian of the past, and of the future, and of the present, and of the worlds beyond, of this dimension and those beyond it, the many ways in which we sing our song. Waiting for the now from Scarlet in the chat, and then we will see which card we pull to share where we are at. Now, there it is. All right. The very first card ever pulled with this new deck, the Lightworker Oracle deck. Again, I specifically bought this card, like this deck, like for us, right? All right, charging this card up here. With the Light Guardian Crystal. Scarlet, thank you again. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. The card that we have pulled from this deck is a card of the Dark Night of the Soul, which is very interesting. And so we're going to read about that as I open up into here. And this is card number 16. And again, like, I have not delved too much into this deck, but this is an Oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck, so it's a little bit different. It's kind of like a custom deck that the Oracle decks work with. So again, so this is a Lightworker deck. So everything here is like themed around Lightworkers. And again, it's not so much like a prediction. It's not so much of like a fortune telling. It's more of like an opportunity for us to be able to like see something important, to be able to like hear something that we need to be able to hear. Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody tuning in on Twitch. I see your guys' comments. Thanks so much for joining in and for all your loving comments. You don't even want to know what they're saying in Twitch right now. So, all right. The Dark Night of the Soul. Looking at this image, what do we got here? So we literally have this image of a person who's surrounded by darkness, but they're holding this very vibrant light within their hands, a sphere of light within their hands. And you can see down below them, there's like a person kind of like crouched over, kind of like holding themselves in a ball. And they kind of look like a little bit of a yin yang. And this person, it appears to be a woman, kind of somewhat androgynous, with their eyes kind of like, their eyes closed, but their head kind of like gazed up towards like a little bit of light coming down from the top. That's just like gently bathing them around their shoulders. And so you can tell that there's like a sense of like hope. There's a sense of rising kind of like out of the dark night of the soul. So very, very literal, obviously. And I'll read this. And so, Dark Night of the Soul, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. All right. So for everybody here, for Scarlett, our newest Patreon supporters, thank you again. Open yourself up, open your heart, just allow yourself to be present with this reading. 16. Dark Night of the Soul. You are ready for more real and radiant relationship with the divine. Your preconceived ideas and safe limiting beliefs may be sacrificed in order for this to happen. To the divine, these are only the clothing of your spirit. They are impediments to the absolute intimacy the divine seeks with you. You might feel vulnerable or uncertain as the divine goes about stripping away these barriers. This is when you enter the dark night of the soul. You understand there is nothing to rely upon but the divine, and you will find it difficult to trust at times. This night will end, however, and the sweetness of the divine dawning in your heart shall render all worthwhile. But for now, you are meant to feel exactly as you feel. You are not doing something wrong. You are moving closer to the divine. Even though you are already on a spiritual path this lifetime, you can go deeper. Sometimes people know this and yet are afraid. Familiar with emotional drama, they are hesitant to let go of what they know, even if that is emotional suffering and mental anguish. I'll reread that. Familiar with emotional drama, they are hesitant to let go of what they know, even if that is emotional suffering and mental anguish. The fear prevents them from being willing to trust in the loving hand and reaching out to them. It might seem silly, yet letting go of fear to take hold of the hand of love can be extraordinarily difficult. If you don't trust that love will hold you, letting go can seem like allowing yourself to fall into an abyss. A feeling of madness may plague you as you wonder if you are sane to leave a known world behind you and enter into darkness of your own doubt and fear. You sense that the old self and the familiar ways will not survive this dark night, even if you know in your heart that this sort of spiritual death is an opening to new life. Is opening to new life, and it can be profoundly confronting. The only way to end the dark night is to go through it, to endure it, and to know that, although you will not understand how it could be possible, it will transform itself into the sweetest grace. In time, you shall be on your knees, not in despairing prayer, dearest child of love, but in gratitude, peace, and devotion. Though it begins as a challenge, the dark night of the soul will become a saving grace. Love knows you are ready. No matter what you may think at this moment of struggle, you are ready to take this spiritual test and emerge more in love with the divine than ever. Remember, this is an advanced initiation and therefore challenging at a profound spiritual level. I'll reread that. Remember, this is an advanced initiation and therefore challenging at a profound spiritual level. Therefore, get some support. Even though you walk the path alone, another can help bear witness to your process and remind you that you are on a noble path of empowerment, love, and truth. Also, although you may feel your guidance has abandoned you, in truth, they are with you ever more clearly, whispering words of encouragement and love. Look for the love within and let it guide you through the dark night. It will lead you faithfully in perfect divine timing into the light of your sweetest morning. Beautiful. Awesome. So this is a very, very, very powerful card to be able to receive, and also a very powerful card for us to be able to talk about, because there's always going to be a card of relevance. And again, and I see this card as being a continuation of the discussion that we've had within this broadcast already with the Seven of Swords and with the reverse card. This card, like in the same way, both of those cards, where they were kind of like, hey, like, let's get real about where we are. Let's get real about looking at where we have been. Allow me 2 seconds here. I just have to restart the broadcast on Instagram real quick. Awesome. And yeah, go ahead. Even Scarlett, you can just kind of, like, I saw your comment there already saying that like this card already resonates with you. So I'm just going to continue doing the reading here real quick. So again, with this card, I think this card is a very, very powerful message about being able to like understand from a higher perspective the purpose of the dark night of the soul, and something that we really need to be reminded of. Because again, for people who aren't necessarily in like the spiritual mindset of being able to understand like how this reality works on a metaphysical level and a deep spiritual level, when they go through hard times, it can be very, very challenging for them, more so than others, because they aren't familiar with like the bigger way in which how this in itself, the darkness, is actually initiation, is actually love, is actually, again, a catalyst to be able to propel you into a deeper space of love, into a deeper space of devotion, into a deeper space of trust. So imagine the difference of being able to move through the dark night of the soul without any sort of like guidance, and you're just in it. And this is a story that a lot of people go through, and this is still a very important story for the soul, where they're just like so like deeply, they're just like in this place where they're just like, oh my god, things are going really quote unquote bad, things are out of my control, I don't know what to do, and then eventually they just kind of surrender. They're just like, I don't even know what to do anymore, but I'm just going to surrender. And maybe they don't even have a spiritual belief, maybe they don't even have a religious belief, but eventually that surrender is in a sense also like a shift into trust, a shift into kind of like putting the power into something bigger than themselves. And yet what happens more often in most of these cases is that, again, it is like in that process of being able to let go our control that we actually allow ourselves to release into more of the freedom and to be able to deepen our connection with this divine, and understanding that like that like darkness, that feeling of being alone, was actually there for us to be able to have a very personal connection and conversation with spirit, with God, godliness, the godness within ourselves, with a deep sense of trust as we come out through the other side. And so sometimes people don't really like develop that full sense of trust until they come out to the other side. But when they do, they move into this place of like deep reverence, of just like, oh my God, like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I thought that was the end, and now here we are on the other side. And I've actually like, through the process of the dark night of the soul, I've actually like purged. I've actually let go. Like maybe there was like relationships that no longer served me, that have like kind of like moved outside of my reality. And now this has opened me up into a new way of being. Again, like a dark night of the soul can often be thought of as a crisis. And so kind of like with the similar card with the other card, use those elements within the dark night of the soul, use that time period as a gift to be able to like really deeply reflect and see where you are at and where you are going, and to practice developing like deep trust in that moment. And so imagine what the difference is when you move into an experience like the dark night of the soul. And again, the dark night of the soul, it could be like something big, maybe it could be something minor, right? Like it's all like kind of like this like in and out of shadow, in and out of darkness, right? Like that's what we do throughout our entire life. We kind of like practice stepping into the shadow, but as we do this, we practice stepping in with the intention of being able to shine our light. So you've maybe like gone through, that's the thing, like as a spirit, as a soul, we've gone through like dark nights of the soul multiple times. And yet if we were to go into it with this deep understanding that this is actually here to serve us, imagine how that would change your story. Imagine how that would change your perception. Imagine how that would change the way that you show up. Would you be able to go through a dark night of the soul with gratitude? Would you be able to see it too as like a very important part of your spiritual journey? And it may be something that's even more than you. Like that's the thing, what you're going through on your dark night of the soul may actually be a very powerful way that's going to invite other people to be a part of your story in ways that you didn't really fully expect. And then you're going to be able to like open up into new connections. In that place of vulnerability, you allow yourself to like continue to grow into more of the opportunity, into more of the gifts that the universe has ready for you. So again, though it begins as a challenge, the dark night of the soul will become a saving grace. So I think the dark night of the soul in some cases can also be like kind of seen as like a karma. Like I've talked about this before. Vidushi, if you're interested in getting a reading, that is available for people supporting on the Patreon. Go ahead and sign up to that, and that's a monthly micro donation, and that will be the next person. I can do one more reading for today if we get one more Patreon supporter. Otherwise, this is the last reading for this broadcast, but I'll be back at 10 p.m. tonight, EST. So again, like with this is Dark Nights of the Soul are kind of interesting because sometimes like it can be a way for literally spirit to be able to like purge and make a huge shift into a new path, and to be able to like clear things out and to kind of like restart fresh. And so even for you, Scarlett, I was seeing I was seeing your comment there, and you said it's crazy. I was saying like this like resonates with me. It's crazy because I left Christianity a year ago. I accept all of this and recognize how deeply this speaks to me. Awesome, Scarlett. Beautiful to be able to hear this. So this card for Scarlett, for you, for everybody listening to this, I really see this card as being a card to be able to help acknowledge your courage, to really be able to help acknowledge your wisdom within your heart, so that like even looking back on your dark nights of the soul, can you practice looking back on your dark nights of the soul that you maybe have already gone through with gratitude, with love, with appreciation, to be like, that leveled me up. That leveled me up. And then to understand that there will be other dark nights of the soul. Like that's the thing. They happen to us in kind of like in little periods. They happen to us sometimes, like, again, when we need them to. And sometimes they happen when we're not fully in alignment with our path. And so that's kind of what I was saying, where the dark night of the soul is actually a way for the universe to be able to kind of like function as a way to kind of like reroute our course. And so I've talked about this before, but like Dharma can sort of be thought of as like the path of our golden self. Like that's like our ideal path. That's a path when we're like in our highest soul growth, and we're like meeting the people, and we're doing our passion, we're sharing our gifts. And yet also it's this idea that we're not always on that path. And sometimes in order to be able to get on that path, we need something to shake. We need something to shift. We need something to change. We need a dark night of the soul, something that's going to be like what appears on the surface as a bit of a crisis, but in itself is actually a purge, and is actually the karmic energy moving us onto our path to basically say like, oh, like that place that you were never meant to stay there. Like that was never your story. You were never meant to stay there. And I'm sorry that this is going to hurt. I'm sorry this is going to be difficult, but by the time you're through this, you're going to feel more liberated. You're going to feel more free. You're going to feel more at peace, more at grace with yourself, to be able to like know that like this was your path for you all along, and for you to be able to hold a deeper space of love for your own self, and being able to see your ability to rise through your dark night, for you to be able to see yourself as the hero, for you to be able to know that you have gone through this dark night of the soul, and then your gift actually becomes a gift that you can share. Your gift actually becomes something where like you'll see other people go through dark nights of the soul, and you'll be able to recognize it, and you'll be able to hold space to them. And you can remind them, whether you say it explicitly or implicitly, you can just be like, trust, like use this as a catalyst, use this as a chance to get really freaking real with yourself, get really radically honest and responsible with your life right now, and to get clear on what you want. Again, like the dark night of the soul is like a way for us to be able to just be like, sometimes the dark night of the soul can show up in a way where it's just like, oh my God, like I thought I was going to lose something. Or maybe you do lose something, but then you also receive the gift and being able to like find deeper gratitude for what you already have, right? So like this is an example where like, for example, like someone, they might go through an accident where like they're just kind of going their life, and maybe they're just like out partying all the time and things like that, and then they get in an accident, and maybe they end up in a wheelchair. That sucks. It does. But at the same time, that accident also brought them into this place where now like they never take anything for granted. Suddenly everything is magical to them. They see the gift in all the little things around them, and they remind others of that gift themselves. And so we ourselves, when we go through that dark night of the soul, let that be an invitation for us to be able to bring more gratitude into our heart. Don't wait for something to be like lost in order to be able to appreciate what you have. Appreciate what you have right now. And again, like I think the dark nights of the soul, as much as there are going to be like other ones that just kind of like appear and appear and appear, how we show up into them is a part of the lesson, and acknowledging how we show up into them. So again, I see Scarlett, I see your comment saying lessons of light come in the darkest moments of our life. Absolutely. That's a very powerful thing. And I say this kind of in my own way, that it is within the darkest nights that we learn to shine our brightest lights. So again, literally the dark night of the soul is an invitation for you to be able to see how freaking powerful you are, how capable you are of transmuting, of alchemizing, of rising, of shining in the darkness. And again, not to see the darkness as an enemy. The darkness, like the shadow, is equally much a part of the story as the light. It is rising us into our calling. So again, so literally going back to the global climate crisis and stuff like now, you can think about what we're going through right now as a dark night of the soul with humans, where we're just like, something is out of whack, something is wrong, there's a crisis, something needs our attention. Again, out of this, let this be a calling to move us into more of a power, to move us into more of a calling. So again, for Scarlet, I really see this as a very powerful card for everybody here to be able to acknowledge. Even right now, let's just all like kind of look back and just be like, let's look back on all those dark nights of the souls that we have had, and just kind of feel those, and just be able to acknowledge and be like, yes, I see them and I am grateful for them. If you can hold greatness, if you can hold gratitude for them, that is such a powerful thing. That is such a powerful thing, to give yourself that gift, to be able to hold gratitude for the dark nights of your soul, sort of thing. And then to be able to be like, and I saw how I rose out of that. And I saw how I became stronger. I saw how I became more clear. I saw how I became more grateful. I saw I became more empowered, more inspired. And I saw how my dark night of the soul actually gave me the gift of empathy, so that I can help show up for others, so that I can be in service of others. So this is a very, very powerful card. So Scarlet, let me know if that resonates with you. And I'm going to read some of the other comments here. I think Bonnie had a comment there. I just want to read real quick. Awesome. Yeah, Bonnie saying they really did level me up. So Bonnie talking a little bit about her own dark nights of the soul. Also, y'all, Black Lilith in astrology, look it up. We are having an opportunity now to change out the karma, and out of the lineages of karma, even the opportunity to literally change and transform our whole family lineages for the better. So that can mean moving through karma of heaviness through these darkness of the soul. Just had to share, since this card is so on point with that part of astrology. Yeah, see, that's another thing. Like, sometimes we have to understand that the dark nights of our soul are not even just ours. Like, they're actually like something that's like a part of our family lineage. It's like our karmic lineage. And that's a powerful thing, is that like, as humans, we came here to play like the advanced level of the game. We did not come here to play easy level. Some of us did, but they're not going to level up in the same way, and that's okay. But for those of us who really came here to be like, yo, I want to reach like level 99 and stuff like that, then the universe is like, okay, I see your courage, and the only way to do that is to put you into the hard levels. The only way to do that is to make you fight the bosses, go through the boss fights, go through those dungeon levels, things like that, go into the darkness. And that is where you'll find your gift. That is where you'll find your power. That is where you'll find your strength. And again, knowing that in doing this, the darkness that we're transmuting, the shadows that we're transmuting them with love, but we're transmuting them in a way that's not just us. Like, we're actually healing beyond the future. We're healing the past and we're healing the future simply by being able to practice healing ourselves. And we learn how to heal. We learn how to heal through the practice of like feeling wounded and feeling in like that place of loss. And we learn how to rise up. So this is a very, very powerful card that, again, I think definitely goes into sync with all the other cards that we had during this broadcast. Yo, Energy Mentality, dude, thanks so much for tuning in. The Real Reneman, thank you so much for tuning in. Sushi, thanks so much for tuning in as well. And Vahid, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, everybody here, definitely let me know, Scarlet, let me know how this card resonates with you. And again, I see this card as just a way for the universe, for myself, on behalf of the universe, to just be able to say, like, I see you. Like, I see what you have done. I see what you have gone through, and I am proud of you. And I love you. And I am only excited for what you are moving into next, knowing that you have everything that you need. Those dark nights of the soul have equipped you with the mental, with the spiritual, with the emotional tools that you need to be able to go through what's next, to be able to help others, to be a teacher, to be a leader, to be a spark, to teach others how to shine their own light. Awesome. Scarlett says, lessons of light come in the darkest moments of life, as we already read that. To put it lightly, I've been in many dark nights, Scarlett says. My childhood was not something I'm proud of. Some things hard happened me, and some things hardened me, and some things have softened me. I look back at those nights of being alone, and I recognize the things I I didn't then. Right, right. So again, like that's the thing, like the dark night, like oftentimes that can be a great chance for us to just kind of be in hermit mode and reflect and to see and to like understand more about ourselves, to move into a deeper place with ourselves. When we have like nothing else to kind of like grab onto, the only place we can turn in is turn inwards. That's a very, very powerful connection to be able to have with the universe. So this is a very, very powerful card. So Scarlet, thank you for helping us pull this card. For anybody else who feels that they resonate with this card, please feel free to leave a comment. And awesome. And yeah, and Scarlet, again, like I'm just kind of like reiterating like the comments coming in from the other chat. Like there's Sushi's just saying like, yeah, like so does her sister. So like you are not alone. Like absolutely, Scarlet, like your story is not just your story. There are so many people that have lived like in similar stories. And again, as we kind of like live through these stories, we can also kind of like help prevent others from having to live the same stories, to change the story, the bigger story. And absolutely, Sushi, seeing what you're saying, absolutely, this is about being able to shed the skins, releasing layers. Totally, totally. Yeah, the dark night of the soul can totally be thought of as a process of shedding the layers. Awesome. Inner G says, man, I went through a dark night last night. Awesome. And again, like, honestly, like, there are times where, like, our soul, like what if you were to actually, like, almost, like, look for a dark night? What if you're just like, yo, I feel like I really need to level up. I'm going to look for a dark night. And sometimes that can be something that you can like put yourself into. That can be like putting yourself into an uncomfortable situation, but you put yourself there with courage. So the dark nights can actually be something that can be like you orchestrate it. You kind of initiate it. Maybe it's like, again, like putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. But again, you're doing it in a way that's calling you more into your higher power. Your growth comes through putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, being in uncomfortable situations, whether you put yourself there or the universe put yourself there. It's all there like for you. It's all there to serve you. Yeah, Sushi's saying healing. I do that because I see it happening years before. Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. So Scarlet, let us know if there's any other comments that you have there. But again, I think this is a very powerful card that really just acknowledges for all of us the strength and the courage as light workers, again, the light worker deck, for being able to like move through the dark nights of the soul, to trust that, like, you know, the metaphysical, the spiritual sun does rise, and to really be able to like have that as like a way to be able to open up the story to a deeper connection with spirit within ourselves. Awesome. Even though you walk the path alone, another can help bear witness to your process and remind you that you are on a noble path of empowerment, love, and truth. So yeah, for everybody here, you are on a noble path of empowerment, love, and truth. So again, thank you so much, everyone here. Awesome. The deja vu, or however you spell it, I feel throughout this reading have been a direct answer on levels I didn't expect. I was a foster and didn't have roots that I couldn't tether. I grew up with many different outlooks on life. Scarlet, that's very powerful. Scarlet just sharing a bit about her story about being a foster kid. That's, again, like, that is a really just taking a moment there, Scarlet, to like just honor, like, that is a very brave thing for a soul to be able to do, to like come into a life, to have an experience like that. And again, to be able to know that like that in itself has allowed you to be able to have like this deep empathy, this deep like appreciation for like meaningful connection and family, and to allow you to just be able to see the world in a way others don't, but to also be able to see your world in a way where it's like, now everyone's your family. We are all family in some way. Not like that, at least not to say like that is how you think, but like I'm just saying, like, as a foster kid, I know others that have kind of like adapted that mentality where it's like they never had one family, yet suddenly everyone was their family. In a sense, they saw like the family in all beings, and so like that in itself can be a very, very powerful catalyst as well. Awesome. Yeah, and Scarlett says, I'm just reading here, Scarlett, thank you so much for sharing, I appreciate that. To say the least, I've never been able to keep myself anchored to one belief of source. I am now a mother and have the ability to give the childhood I didn't have to my child. That's very beautiful. Again, Scarlett, that's so powerful. I thank you so much for like, that is an incredible amount of strength for you to be able to like bring into your relationship with your child as with your child as a mother who experienced what it was like. So And she says, and to be honest, I still stand in dark nights to this day from my traumas. And again, and I think like that is like something that like heals over time, and to really just be able to like continue to look forward, to like be able to like allow any of the traumas in themselves to just be something that points to another part of ourselves where we can send more love, and to be able to help change the story, and for us to be able to help be passionate, so that those traumas are traumas that we break the cycles of, so that they don't have to continue. You know, like that's the thing, like people that have gone through traumas are very powerful leaders and very powerful advocates in being able to help prevent traumas from happening again with like the right like healing and the right like support from community. So awesome. And she says, and hearing your words in this reading is giving me confirmation. Thank you. Absolutely. That is why we are here. We are here to be able to absolutely provide. That's exactly the intention, right? We state that in this broadcast. So that is the intention, provide like insight, clarity, inspiration. So very cool. Awesome. And Jalen, thank you so much. Jalen saying that they needed that card too. Very powerful card. Awesome. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, everyone. Again, like that's the thing. Like we have all gone through dark nights of the soul. We are all strong. We are all powerful. We are all like, you know, voices for the fact that like there is like so much magic in this world. And to deeply trust is a very, very, very powerful thing. And we can teach others how to do the same while allowing them to be able to receive the messages and the lessons that they need to. Yeah, Energy says, I've had feelings of inadequacy, fear of putting myself out there, like I've been in a hardened shell for most of my life because I feel everyone's energy so deep. I hide away and retreat. Well, again, I think Energy, definitely, like you're in a community to be able to remind you that like everyone is valued and everyone has like a very, very important piece of this magical puzzle to be able to share. And Energy, like I invite and encourage you to be able to like help expressing yourself, to practice expressing yourself. Like that is a thing that we all just need to do. We need to practice expressing ourselves. And again, like that can be like a thing where it's like your dark night of the soul does not have to become like necessarily like always like a sad story, but it becomes a powerful story that becomes a part of your story that allows you to develop your identity and to be able to say like, I am not my past, but I am like the person who has risen through it. I am the person who has risen out of the dark night of the soul. I am the person who has turned into this like very powerful being because of like, you know, the crucible of that fire of the dark night of the soul, and it transformed me. And now I want to be able to like help others on their journey as well. So thank you again, Scarlett, so much for being able to help us pull this card for the team. Super Scarlett saying big facts. So thank you again. Thank you again. Hey, Savannah, thanks so much for joining in. Thinking Relatively Sushi. Thank you again, everyone. So thank you again, everyone, so much for being here. And again, for us to kind of like see the bigger dark night of the soul that we as consciousness, collectively, the earth is going through right now. And for us to be able to like continue to show up with that deep trust. Like that's the thing. People with like the global climate strike and everything like now, we need to see this story. In the same way we know how the dark night applies to an individual where it's like, oh, it's a catalyst to help us grow. We need other people within this global climate thing to be able to see this as a catalyst to help us grow and to help us realign and to help us remove old patterns that no longer serve us. They served us up to a point to be able to teach us how to develop a new path, but now we have changed. Now we can create a new path. Now we can bring ourselves into a new light. We can shine with new beautiful colors that we probably have never even seen before. So there you go. Thank you. Yeah, so again, like Scarlett's saying, my traumas are not me. They are simply aspects of my life that molded me to be open and compassionate in my own way. Scarlett, wow, like spine tingles reading you say that. I'm going to reread that because I think everybody here needs to hear that from Scarlett. My traumas are not me. They are simply aspects of my life that molded me to be open and compassionate in my own way. Absolutely. So that's the attitude that we need. And again, it's like you are not the things that happen to you. Like you are the bigger story. You are the character that moves through the events of the things that happen to you, but you are not just those things. You are what you bring with you out of it. So awesome. And they are not my sad girl story. That's beautiful. Yeah, like if you can see, that's the thing. See, that is a huge shift. If any of us here can literally like look at any of our dark nights and to literally shift from like oh, woe is me to gratitude to actually be able to say like, wow, like I'm actually glad that I had those experiences, even though they may have been shitty, which is okay to acknowledge, but I'm grateful that they brought me into who I am here today, because I feel like this is where I need to be. And I'm grateful for where I am now, and I would never be here with this perspective, with this heart, with this open wisdom if I didn't have that experience in the past. If you were to just play things easy, you wouldn't learn anything. But if you were playing things hard, you are a brave soul, and you came here to level up in some very powerful ways. So again, I see everyone here for being a brave soul. If you're tuned into this broadcast, thank you for like moving through your dark nights of the soul and for leveling up together. Awesome. Yes, not to have that pity party and excuses. Absolutely. But again, allowing our experiences to be able to give us deep empathy so that we can hold space for others. Because there will be others who will have similar stories to our past, and we'll be able to be like, oh, now I actually know why I had those experiences, so that I can help hold space for others who are going through it now and help them on their course so that they don't have to go through the exact same thing. And that is where we kind of change the lineage of the karma that is happening here. So very, very cool. So Scarlett, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Facebook is fine. And I can send you the write-up here. And okay, here, this is the last part. So there's an invocation here. This is an invocation that I didn't read the first time. So every card here has an invocation, and I feel it makes sense to read this at the end. So this is the invocation. I want everyone here to even just kind of like repeat this as I'm saying this. So the dark night of the soul is love calling me into light. Repeat that. The dark night of the soul is love calling me into light. Okay, we're going to move through this. I'm going to say it and then you're going to repeat it. Calling me to let go of fear. Calling me to let go of fear. To release my every doubt and to say instead, I know that love is more real, more powerful than anything else, always. Again, I'm going to reread this with you. To release my every doubt, and to say instead, I know that love is more real, more powerful than anything else, always. So I accept love's power and grace. So I accept love's power and grace. And I invite the healing presence of unconditional divine love into my heart now. And I invite the healing presence of unconditional divine love into my heart now. You can even just hold your hands. There's a few more sentences here. Just hold your heart. Allow this to like really speak your truth here. Bring me the peace and spiritual blessing that I need to be freed from darkness. Bring me the peace and spiritual blessing that I need to be freed from darkness. And opened to the sweet light of love's truth. And open to the sweet light of love's truth. May all beings caught in darkness be assisted by unconditional love. May all beings caught in darkness be assisted by unconditional love. To see, feel, and know that the path of love is theirs forever. To see, feel, and know that the path of love is theirs forever. Through my own free will, so be it. Through my own free will, so be it. So there we go. So that was a little like invocation at the end as part of the Dark Night of the Soul, which again was from our Lightworker Oracle deck. So very, very powerful card. Thank you again, Scarlett. Scarlett's comment says, just like the saying, there are experiences on earth that are waiting for you, of which you have not experienced yet. Very powerful. Awesome. Scarlett, thank you again so much for having that reading for the community. I know, again, like that's why we do these readings. There's a lot of people who are listening to that and there's like, yo, that was powerful. There's a lot that I got out of that as well. So much synchronicity, energy. Yeah, exactly. Right. So there's other people here who are getting a lot out of this reading because we're like a collective hive mind when we do these broadcasts. Like seriously, that's why I like doing these broadcasts. This is like us like practicing being collective hive mind, like collective consciousness right here in this broadcast. It's a very powerful thing. And I don't always see it on like a lot of, I think what we're doing here is actually like quite unique. You guys let me know, is what we're doing here quite unique? Like, have you seen like other broadcasts quite like this? Do I bring like a certain style and a certain energy and a certain intention that is a little bit different from maybe something you see? And let me know like what that means to you, because your feedback is important. And I really, really appreciate being able to share this gift with us together as a team. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. that is going to be the last reading for today, unless we have one more person sign up for the Patreon in the next 5 minutes, give or take. So again, for anybody here who is able to join in, thank you so much. Scarlett, thank you so much. If anybody else resonated with that last card, go ahead and drop some 1111s in the chat. And yeah, I know we've probably got, I'm just going to see how many people we got tuned in right now. Probably got like over like a dozen people tuned in, give or take, which is totally cool. And I appreciate everybody being here. Yeah, again, like the numbers kind of get smaller as the broadcast goes on further, but I am glad that everybody got to be able to join in. Scarlett, I'll accept your friend request on Facebook, and then send me a direct message as well. And oh, it looks like Scarlett jumped over back onto the Facebook. Hey Scarlett, welcome back on the Facebook. So again, so for everybody here, thank you so much for joining in. We're going to be doing another broadcast later tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then again tomorrow. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel to be able to get the readings there. And if you are just having to be on Instagram, I'll always reread the readings there. So awesome. Gail, thanks so much for tuning in. Gail says, this is my second time watching. I've never seen a live like this before. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. So again, like I went to school for media production, broadcast, television, everything like that. And I use my skills as media to be able to combine it with my passion to be able to help create inspirational conscious content for the community. And that's kind of what you see here, right? So this is like me using my like techno shaman skills to be able to help serve. So with that said, that's going to be our last reading for today, unless one more person wants a reading, and let me know in the chat. And that would be by you signing up for the Patreon. And thank you again. We did 3 readings today, 3 very powerful readings today. And super grateful again to Sheila, to Scarlett, and to everybody else for tuning in. Awesome. Jalen, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you got to tune in for this, Jalen. Really happy to be able to know that everyone here is just being able to get like some magic out of this. Awesome. Scarlett, I'll send you the picture for the reading. And yeah, so quick check-in. Does anybody else here want to be able to sign up for the Patreon and get a reading live on air? And again, when you sign up for the Patreon, you also get a Light Guardian crystal for a pay what you wish. So if you want to get a super dope Light Guardian crystal, they're available. And I hand make these. They're also available at questitemshop.com. And they are normally available as a sliding scale, pay what you wish, starting at $35. For the Lemurian ones, it starts at $50 US. And yeah, these are super awesome, super amazing tools, all with like different colors. Some of them have like the light changing color as well. And you'll be able to get one of those when you sign up for the Patreon for pay what you wish. And you also get 25% discount for items at the shop. And you can also become a leading member at the $11 level, which can also give you the Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal as a pay what you wish as well. So let me know in the comments if there's anybody else here who is going to sign up for the Patreon in the next 5 minutes, and we'll do one more reading. Like I can do one more reading, though otherwise we're going to wrap it up, and then I'm going to go get to editing, and that's going to be working on the global climate strike. So again, by you guys supporting me, by you children of the earth supporting me on Patreon, that helps support me in creating all sorts of content for the community, like global broadcasts that we do weekly for like the Paradigm Shift Central project, more of these live broadcasts that we do to be able to help share inspiration, the videos that I make, the humor videos, the inspirational videos, they're all inspirational. The videos of, again, I'm working on a video for the climate strike rally that I went to, like, and this is like professional level editing that I bring into a lot of what I do. It helps me in being able to like create like awesome shift buttons to be able to provide with the community. So the time is now to connect with the project and sign up on Patreon. So even if you want to sign up in the future, go ahead, let me know, because you can do a private reading there. And again, here's I have raw button. Each button has a Paradigm Shift Central website on them. And when you sign up for the Patreon and you get your any order, I'll also put in some extra buttons for you as well. So hey, look, I found this cute picture of you. It's you. That's you underneath the Buddha tree. That's you. That's awesome. So again, please feel free to just send me a message. Let me know if you appreciated this broadcast. I always love being able to just know who I connected with. If you're watching this on Facebook and you're not already connected to my profile, be sure to do so. But send me a direct message before you send me a friend request. Otherwise, I won't accept the friend request, because I wanted to make sure that it's people who are tuned in for the broadcast. And yeah, so final moments of the broadcast here. Again, just checking with the live chat. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. If you would like a reading either live on air or private, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. That's a monthly micro donation of $3, $5, $11, $22, $1,000, whatever you feel you would like to support, whatever you're comfortable with. and we'll do a reading on air for you and for the community. So I can do one more reading today, but I'm totally cool. Like I believe me, like this is like an extra bonus if we do one more reading. So we're just gonna take a couple extra minutes here. And also I was probably gonna do some like wire wrapping. I picked up some crystals and stuff like that. So I was probably just gonna start like gifting some of these crystals to people in the community. So here's some like cute quartz that I got, and I was gonna do some like simple wire wraps. I wanted to like give these to people who are just like kind of like tuned in and stuff like that eventually. So, but yeah, we'll save that for another broadcast. Thank you again, Scarlett. So glad that you're able to make it, and thank you again for your support on the Patreon. And Scarlett, yeah, like you can send me, I'll send you a DM. We've already got connected through DM and stuff like that. And yeah, if you're interested in the Lumerian one, or you're interested in being involved as a leading member in the community, then absolutely, we can chat more about that. And again, that's at the $11 a month level. So thank you again, everyone, to all the Patreon supporters. I know a few of them are tuned in. Carol, thanks so much for tuning in. Erica, thanks for tuning in as well. And again, Scarlett and Sheila, our newest Patreon supporters. And yeah, again, if Patreon is something that you haven't checked out yet, be sure to just check it out, and you can just like explore more of my content there, and including like the full-length movies, the Journey to Lucidity movies, which are super awesome. So last call, and sending everyone awesome blessings for their day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tune in later tonight. We'll do another broadcast, and we'll set the intention of getting 2 new Patreon signups. And yeah, awesome. That's awesome. Scarlett's saying that she does wire wrappings as well. Super cool. Yeah, awesome. If Scarlett, if you sign up as a leading member, you can also like share your wire wraps like inside of like our community and stuff like that. So that there's parts of the community project that I'm still like evolving. It takes like a lot of focus. So that's the thing. Like as I achieve certain milestones with the Patreon, then that allows me to shift more focus into like other parts of the community that are gonna like help like continue to serve in some totally epic ways, such as like just being able to help curate more people's content so that they can connect with their content as well. So okay, so last call. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. Just gonna give it like 2 more minutes. Again, if anybody is literally in the process of signing up for the Patreon in the next minute, just leave a comment. Just be like, I'm signing up right now because I want a reading on air. And again, maybe if you're like if you're just interested in reading, be sure to tune in later tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll do another reading later tonight, along with some more readings and get some more Patreon supporters. So awesome. All right, so I definitely feel accomplished in this broadcast. And again, thank you so much, everyone. That was some awesome readings that we got. A lot of inspiration there. And and again, we're working towards like it's part of the reason why we're pushing towards being able to get more Patreon signups is that at the end of the month the donations process. So my job, my responsibility is to be able to get as many Patreon supporters signed up before the end of the month. So this is an awesome way where us creating these broadcasts provides community value and be able to help generate support on the Patreon. So awesome. Erica, thank you so much. You're welcome as well. Blessed be Scarlett, thank you so much. All right, okay, so last call. Doesn't look like anybody else is signing up right now, which is totally cool. And with that said, we'll do another broadcast later tonight. I'm gonna get working on more of the video for the climate march. And yeah, and thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This has been another awesome broadcast, and I look forward to being able to share more with you. So be sure to tune in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at least for this week. I can't say for certain what the schedule will be next week, but we'll see. You guys let me know how much you want me to tune in, and I'll just tune in. I'll be on here 24 hours if you want. All right. Thank you again, everyone. Wishing you an awesome day. Many blessings. Bless, 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 bless. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding space for each other. Thank you for leveling up as a team. Be sure to check out more at paradigmsessential.com. Subscribe at youtube.com/SkullBabylon. Like this video on YouTube. Connect to me on Instagram for more content. And check out the Patreon when you can. And yeah, lots of other awesome stuff coming your way. So until next time, as always, peace, love, and wholeness. Keep it shifty. And I will see you in the future. Much love. Thanks again. Go team.